All right. Welcome in, everybody. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. It's great to be here with you on a Wednesday morning. Would like to welcome back to the studio the great Paul Ryle. Welcome back from Las Vegas, my friend.
Good morning.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Get into your trip here in a moment. I'm Woodsy, and I am prioritizing my sanity and my physical health and my mental health. This stupid team, they're going to make me insane. Insane. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. How are you, Benjamin?
I'm good because this is the first time in almost 2 weeks that the three of us have physically been in the studio together.
Feels real good.
Yeah.
Feels real good. A nice little menage a trois of pain in here this morning for the Ben and Woods program.
What I missed? They were 3 games above 500 when I left.
Yeah. It's been super fun. Offense has gone very, very cold. We'll talk about that. We will. Let's hold them accountable today, guys, because we don't do that enough. I hereby declaim they are accountable. They're accountable.
Done. It's over. You
guys?
Yeah, I'm in.
We need like a sounder, like a let's hold them accountable sounder. You know what tomorrow is. It's time to hold these guys accountable.
What would that sound like?
I don't know.
Is that a cash register chinging? Is
No.
Is that accountable?
No, that doesn't
It's
work
accounts
for me.
receivable. That's what
It's
I'm
accounts
thinking of.
receivable. I need something that, like,
Big bomba class, big
Yes!
bomba dynamic.
Well, when they hear it, they go, "Oh no, we're dead. We better get our ass in gear." A gavel sound. I mean, look, they
That Law and
stunk.
Order little stinger.
Dun dun dun
dun.
dun dun. Terrible, man. Terrible. No, I had to, honestly, I went to the doctor yesterday. As you know, I had my yearly.
Oh, how did it go?
My
Are you
yearly
alive?
physical. I mean, I'm here.
You good?
He said, "You got some mileage left," which was a quote. And I said, well, that's a good quote. Now, that could be 3 miles. It could be 30 miles. I have no idea. Nobody really knows. I mean, when the end is near. But I will tell you this, man. I got to the doctor's office and waited. And he walked out and he goes, he just gave me the look like, come on back. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, what's going on? So I sat down and I started doing the preamble of, listen, here's what's been going on. I had a kidney stone early in the year. Mentally, I've been working hard on my mental game, blah, blah, blah. But the consistency of the diet and the exercise, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, just relax. You're fine. You're good. He goes, yeah, you got a couple numbers in there a little bit higher. We're going to do this test on you, like a calcium test around my heart, just to make sure that the calcified plaque. He's going to do like a little measurement, which, listen, man, at 48 years old, you read these stories all the time of these guys who's dropping dead, Little League, on vacation, all these horrible stories, and you don't want that to happen, right? You want to be around your family as long as you can. Most of us do. So I got to do one of those tests. But then, man, this is what domed me out. So kind of wrapping up, he goes, let me get your blood pressure real quick. So he puts the cuff on, and I sit there, and he takes my blood pressure, and he goes, oof, yeah, that's high. He goes, all right, let's do an EKG on you right now. So I was like, okay. So the nurse comes in. She goes, I need you to take your shirt off. And I go, oh, lucky you. Took this sack of potatoes, this white, doughy, hairy mess. And I'm like, she's like, oh, don't worry. I've seen way worse. She goes, oh, no, don't have to shave you. I said, no, please don't shave my chest. I don't know that I could get through the rest of the day. So she slaps all these things on me, hooks me up, do the EKG, and she's like, okay, yeah, doctor's going to come in, and he's like, look, you got to manage your blood pressure a little bit better. I need you to send me over the next week or so some blood pressure numbers, random times of the day, and blah, blah, blah. And so that freaks you out a little bit. And as the game is going on last night, I had to really lay there, Ben, and watch and go, it's fine. Yeah, you got runners on here. Oh, you didn't get him in. Didn't get him over. Didn't get him in. Okay, all right. Just stay zen. Oh, Yuki Matsui's back in a 1-1 game. Oh, he can't find the zone. Just stay zen. Stay zen. Stay relaxed. So that's what I was trying to do. So forgive me if I don't come in here this morning full of fire and brimstone. But
You're managing your health. That's what we're doing here.
Bro, I feel it. I feel it in my gut, and I'm just trying to tamp it down or find a better way to Get it out.
Is there anything I can do to lower your stress level? Do you need easier questions on Take on Woods?
No.
What can I do?
You don't stress me out at all. Neither does Paulie. You guys don't stress me out a bit. Not even a little bit.
Some nice soothing sounds of running water, a babbling brook.
Now I kind of have to pee a little bit when I hear that. Gluco Man says, go for a walk. I can't really go for a walk right now. I would if I could, but I can't.
Just call in 833-288-0973 and call us.
I'll call you guys
during the walk,
and vent. No, so I just, listen, man, it was just one of those things where I was like, I could feel myself getting a little worked up last night. And so my buddies were texting me, and they're like, hey, I said, I turned the game off. As soon as the game ended, Mary Lou's is talking to Scan, and I turned it off. And I said, I'm not watching. And they go, you don't sit up and watch the Schilt presser? And I go, no. Why? And I go, because I don't want to get mad at 9:25 at night. I want to try to sleep and get a good night's rest. I don't want to get mad. I don't want to listen to that. I'll wait till the morning, listen to it with the homies. We can discuss it together. But the last thing I need is to be at 9:30 going, alibi? Of course you can't alibi this. No one cares about these series wins right now. Mike, you've just dropped 3 straight. And I don't want to get myself worked up. So I just turned the TV off. You know what I watched? Have you guys seen the new show that's on Netflix about Donald Sterling and the Clippers? Have you guys watched? Yeah, Clipped. Have you watched it yet?
FX is Clipped. I saw the trailers, but I haven't watched. I haven't watched any of the episodes. It's brand new.
So there's 2 episodes out. It's so bad that it's good. It's one of those where you're like, okay.
Like it looks like a bad dramatization of the real event.
So same channel that did the Pam and Tommy one, which was awesome. So bad, but kind of awesome, right? So I'm watching it, and
they did the OJ show with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Phenomenal.
No, that was just as bad. It's the same thing.
Phenomenal though. Phenomenal. Like I couldn't turn away.
I think I saw Lawrence Fishburne as Elgin Baylor. I think
He's
the GM. No, it's. I mean, I saw he's in the cast. I thought maybe that's who he played.
He was Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
Oh, he's Doc Rivers.
He's Doc Rivers. Mm-hmm. And then Al Bundy. What's his name? Ed O'Neill plays Donald Sterling. So I mean, it's a decent. It's a decent story. Obviously, you all know the story of Donald Sterling, and the audio that they have him, saying is just horrific stuff. And to watch that, but they've got, kind of the guys playing. They're talking about the guys that were on the Clippers at the time. And that's pretty decent. It's decent. So I watched some of that, Benny. And then I went to bed, man, because I just couldn't let myself get worked up again over this baseball team because I don't want my heart to explode. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone has some stresses. I try to keep mine to a minimum. I'm stressed right now. We are 2 weeks away from the Ben & Woods Open.
Are you stressed?
Well, a little bit. I just want the event to be successful. I did some work yesterday. I was trying to make sure the beer would be arranged from Virgin that we're getting for all the players, and because there's not a cold room at the Goat, so trying to figure out whether I'm going to pick it up early that morning and just transport it to Goat Hill or how it's going to work. I mean, there's all of the little tiny details that you don't necessarily realize, that everything has to be there at the right time, at the right day.
Yeah,
we've been putting it all together, but we're getting close now. We're coming up on it, and I just want to make sure that it's a fun, exciting day for everybody who signs up and participates.
I have a really good feeling about it. There is a lot to do detail-wise, a ton. I mean, think about the prizes, right? Because we have some killer prizes and baskets and raffle prizes. You need to punch up a description. That needs to be in some weird plastic thing that tapes to a table. Where do we get the table? Do they have the table? Do they have tape? I need tape there. We need a glory hole sign. I need all kinds of things right now. So I do get it. But I do feel that venue, our listeners, are going to make it a great day. I mean, we don't have a ton of volunteers. I don't know that we need a ton of volunteers, but I saw people are continuing to buy twosomes and foursomes, and they're rolling in right now. So we're still open. I say we probably bang it after another week, though, right? Like whatever we have, we have.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to full. There's definitely some spots left. I just retweeted on my Twitter account at BenHigginsSD, our Eventbrite sign-up link if you want to join us. But, yeah, this is kind of the last week, I would say, or so to sign up if you want to make sure you get a spot.
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be fun, man. We'll make it work. And the Tier 1s, one thing about our audience, they don't really complain a lot, at least about us. They complain playing, but they don't really complain about us. And if they come out to Goat Hill, I know they're going to have a good time. Look, you're going to be playing golf with your friends, drinking beer, taking tequila shots, having a good time. Please drink responsibly and all that. But so yeah, it's I can see why you're stressed about it. I'm mildly stressed about that. I would rather our baseball team win and us have a bad tournament. I would rather our baseball team.
You'll trade a nice long winning streak
for people complaining about our golf tournament. 100% in a heartbeat. I mean, we're getting to the point right now. I'd trade my car for a nice long winning streak. Make Paulie pick me up every day. I mean, we need this. We need it. We want it. We don't need it. We want it. And it's just a bummer to watch. And we'll talk about the game last night. And we don't. That's the thing is I tweeted this morning, like, let's rip the phones. If you guys want to get it off your chest, I'm here for you. We all are. 833-288-0973. Vent, let it rip. But also, like, what's the milk is all over the table. They've spilled it. The milk's over the table. It's sitting back at 500. Now, you can get your paper towels. You can clean it up. What's the solution for moving forward? What do you do?
That's a tough question.
It's a little bit of a loaded question. You know what I mean? Because I tweeted last night, half kidding. Just grab 2 catchers, 2 starting pitchers, 2 to 3 bats that match left-handed pitching, and like 4 bullpen arms, and we're back in business. And it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but not really. This team's got some holes in it right now, and they got some guys that are headed the wrong direction. And I don't know how to fix it. If I did, I wouldn't be here with you guys. I would be in the locker room there fixing it. But I do want you guys to call in, get it off your chest. Look, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but the takes of we just got to stop pretending this team is anything other than a 500 team. That's not a prolific take. You're right. Their record is 500. That's what they are. They have played 64 games. That means they have 98 games left to prove who they are. Is that right? My math adding up? No. Yeah. Yes. 98 games left to prove what kind of team they are. So you got less than 100 games left. They are a 500 baseball team.
I bet they go 44 and 44 or whatever it is.
Which at this point might be good enough to make the playoffs.
It's exactly right.
With the way the National League is shaping up, you may not need to be much more than a 500 team this year to go to the postseason.
And luckily for us, the entire National League is garbage. They're garbage. There's 4 teams above 500 or something. I mean, it is bananas how bad the NL is right now. So
Padres are the 5th best team in the National League. After all of this.
It's bananas, right? Sitting at 500, they are the 5th best team. And so, yeah, I get it. But
wow, that's shocking.
It's shocking.
Actually, to see that.
It's shocking. That said,
I haven't looked at the whole league-wide standings.
Yep, 5th best team in the National League right here in San Diego, everybody.
But it does not feel like it. Certainly. It does not feel like it. There were positives last night. We'll talk about those. There's a lot of negatives with this team. We'll talk about those as well. Again, sound the accountability buzzer or button or whatever it is that we came up with because these guys need to be held.
Oh, and by the way, they have a winning record against 3 of the 4 teams that are ahead of them in the National League standings as well.
I know. Beat up the weaklings, guys. Beat up the weaklings. Hey, congratulations, by the way, to the Los Angeles Angels for their first 2-game winning streak at home all season long. They had not put 2 together in a row. There's my blood pressure. You see the veins coming out? Here it comes. I'm going to have to monitor it at work like Gordon Gekko. Like sitting at my desk. Like, hang on, I got to monitor my blood pressure.
Strap you up to wires throughout the show.
Stupid.
All right. The vibes are not great this morning. My first day back in a couple of days. Your blood pressure's through the roof.
Yeah.
Ben's stressed about the golf tournament.
Yeah.
Padres are losing. Would some gifts cheer you guys up?
We love gifts.
Oh, that would be nice.
No,
Can we do that when
gifts.
we come back?
Yes, let's do gifts.
I know what I'm getting already, but that's fine. I'm excited about it.
I bet you are.
All right, we'll hear about Paulie's trip to Vegas. We'll set the menu for the show coming up next. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Are our heads right? Probably not. On San Diego's #1 sports station. Kelly with traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
I like presents. Paulie brought us some presents from his trip to Vegas. How was your trip to Vegas?
Looked good.
Yeah.
I saw some pictures. Looked like you guys had a good
I
time.
want to talk about that restaurant. Okay?
Best friend.
Best friend. So
my God.
So it looks like it's in like a strip mall. It looks like a 7-Eleven storefront or something. Is it? That's how it's meant to look?
Yeah, it's how it's meant to look.
And where is it?
It's in Park MGM.
Okay.
Right there on the casino floor. Roy Choi is
Roy
the
Choi.
chef. He opened it up, and it's like Korean barbecue, street food style. It's family style. So we got a booth, and they just bring out food as it's ready. They don't do, appetizer, main course, or anything like that. It's just as it's ready, food just comes flying out. It was unbelievable.
It looked incredible.
We had a veggie fried rice. We had Korean short rib barbecue street tacos.
Koji's, he's the inventor of the Koji burrito. It's the single best burrito I've ever had in my whole life.
Yep.
That was my Coachella burrito. Wouldn't eat for 3 days and eat 2 of those and call it a day.
We had marinated cucumbers, which were delicious, a little spicy.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have? A garlic chicken. It was so good.
It looked. I saw one little picture and I was like, wiping the saliva from my chin. It looked incredible.
Yeah, service was great.
So
the vibe? There was a DJ in there, like a live DJ, which was awesome.
No, you guys didn't go to any shows or anything.
No shows. A lot of like the residencies were off that weekend, or they did the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then we got in Sunday afternoon. So we were just hanging. It was kind of a whirlwind of a trip. We were there for 2 nights.
Yep.
And it was hot, about 100. It was getting hotter. I think it's like 110 today.
Taint all sweaty and walking around.
Pool time? Any pool time?
We didn't do the pool this time.
No kidding. Too hot.
Yeah. It was like cloudy hot too. It was like cloudy and 100 degrees and muggy. We're like, I don't want to go sit by the pool right now. No, I'm good.
So I saw you guys working the slots real good.
Oh yeah.
I laughed at Paulie yesterday when I talked to him. I was like, how'd you do? Money wise. He's like, maybe down a little bit, but you made enough to like buy stuff and buy dinners and stuff.
We went shopping. Like we had a great time. Like we brought fun money that you plan to lose.
Sure.
But it's more of how long will it last?
But these dudes,
like if you lose $100
in 30 seconds,
in 30 seconds, that sucks.
It's the worst. Happens to me every time.
If you're playing games for 2.5 hours and you lose that $100,
money well spent.
Money well spent.
So they're him and Megan. Megan took a picture of Paulie sitting at the slot machine. I go, when you guys are in your 60s, you're going to be out like at Barona every weekend. Just Paulie and Megan just playing slots, man.
Yeah, I never really got into the whole slot thing for a long time. And then Megan started getting into it, so I started playing along and started realizing, you know what? It's a little bit more fun than I thought.
Yeah.
When you bet a little bit more than, a penny, and you can win a little bit more than $1, and then you're just playing for the bonuses, you're like, all right, it's pretty fun, dude.
Does anyone miss
Monday night? I couldn't miss.
Couldn't lose.
The old school when the coins would have to, would pop out, and you'd have a bucket and had to, put in the coins, and then when you had a jackpot, it would be dropping out. And
all right, give me my presents,
that
can't
have been very hygienic.
No.
With everybody touching all the coins all the time.
I mean, bro, at this point, nothing is really. You got people scratching their ass and going up and hitting the button all day too. I mean, it's disgusting. Vegas is anywhere you go is disgusting right now. Pretty much, it's just the way that it is.
Yeah, I will say, I'm always impressed with the Strip in Las Vegas for as many people as there are mobbing through there every single day, and it was packed this weekend. No trash on the ground.
That's great.
They do a really good job of cleaning it up. You never feel like unsafe.
No.
Like you get occasionally, you'll see the one guy who cannot stand up on his own feet. He's stumbling out of a casino or something. But for the most part, everyone's doing their thing. Yeah. Everyone's fine. I had no problems with that. Gifts. I had to go to a couple of different, they got the Walgreens, they got CVS's on the Strip.
Sure.
So we'd go there to get some waters and stuff. And I also noticed that they have these for Woodsy.
Oh, yes. I love these little citrus Zen that you cannot buy.
Congratulations.
Can't get those here. Angel face. I love these. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, a whole new deck of trading cards.
Benny got some trading cards.
I got Carrie with 2 eyes at the end.
Carrie.
Jasmine and Bella. Oh, very nice.
That's a rookie card.
Ashley.
Ashley.
There's 2-sided. Amira. And Megan. Oh, thanks, Megan.
Here, let's see these.
There you go.
Oh, all right. Which, you're 6 for 6 here, Paulie. Yeah. And, these are the...
Yeah, I don't know you want to show them, do you?
Well, there's a little dot over the nipple, so you're fine.
That keeps it completely clean.
Yeah, so now you don't really know what you're looking at. Because
you have no idea.
Had there not been a dot there, that might be a naked woman.
Could be anything.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Add those to the collection.
Your collection is really...
starting to grow. Every time
something.
Paulie goes, he always brings me back some souvenirs.
Yeah.
Here's what we've got on the menu for the program today.
Thank you, Paulie.
We will talk about Adam Mazur's Major League debut last night. Unfortunately, it came in a 4-2 loss to the Angels. Padres dropping their third straight. Our Padres wrap-up is coming up here at the bottom of the hour. We got an early Big League Wednesday visit from Adam Jones, who's going to check in. He's coming on at 7 o'clock because he is talking to, we believe, John Harbaugh on his podcast later this morning. So
busy morning.
He moved up a little bit early for us, and we will talk to Adam Jones at 7 o'clock. So we'll delay Take on Woods until a little bit later in the show. We'll either do it late in the 7 o'clock hour or early in the 8 o'clock hour. Don't do this at 7:20 as always. Do want to get into the rumors that were flying yesterday. We talked a little bit about on our show yesterday who the Padres might want to be pursuing on the trade market if they need more pitching depth. And one name I brought up specifically was Garrett Crochet of the Chicago White Sox. And then it came out later in the day from Dennis Lin and Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic that the Padres indeed have been actively pursuing Garrett Crochet, the left-hander, converted reliever for the Chicago White Sox, who's leading the American League in strikeouts, has been on fire of late. His last 5 starts, I think he's given up a total of 3 runs. But, of course, the White Sox are going to want a pretty penny for Garrett Crochet. He's got 2+ years left of team control remaining, which is a very valuable commodity. And are the Padres willing to sacrifice some of their top prospects, whether it be, a Dylan Lesko, Robbie Snelling, or even talk about Leonardo DeVries or Leodalis DeVries, or even Ethan Salas.
Or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Who was in town.
We talked about him
yesterday.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that. We have Paul back, so we get a real Ryle report after a Klug report and an Italian Paul report the last 2 days in our 9 o'clock hour.
And a bald Ryle report.
Can I just say that might have been the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Bald Ryle?
Bald Ryle.
Yeah, bald Ryle. That made me laugh really hard.
He hates me so much. It's all right.
You texted me that was Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
You texted me, we changed Adam's name to Bald Ryle. I thought,
yeah,
well done.
Yeah, that's what he's forever. If he fills in for you, he's Bald Ryle. Yeah.
Sits a little bit lower. All you can
I
see
couldn't
is the
see
head.
him.
You just see the top of the head over my computer screen.
I'm like, can you sit on a phone book or something? I'm looking over at him, and he's. I'm not joking. Go look at the video feed. He had his hoodie on at one point, and he was leaned back in his chair texting. I almost came out of my skin. I'm like, you're the brand man. Lock in. Let's go,
now,
dude. If you did that, Paulie, I'd be like, bro, you got to find another producer.
He had to do 8 straight hours on the board on Monday.
It's not my problem.
Yeah.
Not my problem. Not my problem. He's in a hoodie with the hoodie over his head, lean back texting. It's unacceptable. I'm holding him accountable.
Paulie, do we have the sounder for holding Bald Ryle accountable?
Freaking bald, man. Guy got me again. Got me again. I love you, Adam.
All right, we'll come back with our Padres wrap-up with Ben and Woods. Don't go anywhere. It's San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. If it makes you feel any better, I don't know that it will. But Padres aren't the only team in the torture chamber at the moment.
It doesn't.
You know the Dodgers.
Yeah, dude.
In their since May 10th, I looked this up. Since May 10th, they have been shut out or held to one run 8 times.
That is staggering.
Including yesterday when 4 Pittsburgh Pirates pitchers combined on a 1-0 shutout win over the Los Angeles Dodgers.
You know what? I just lied to you. That
does make you feel a little bit better.
Make me feel a little bit better. Tell me again. I want to hear it again. Say it again.
Since May 10th, the LA Dodgers have either been shut out or held to one run 8 times. 0-8 in those games.
Yeah, that just hit like a nice, ice-cold old-fashioned. That made me feel. I could feel my body tingling a little bit.
Yeah, and there's consternation in Los Angeles with everything that they've spent on that team and realizing that they are nowhere near at least the kind of team that they expected or want to be. And will probably be very active around the trade deadline, looking to add offense and depth.
Junior just ruined it for me in the chat. So now you're saying we missed opportunities to gain on L.A. Now I'm even more upset. Yeah, great. Good job. You just made me it's like a speedball. That was terrible.
Or you could say that every other team has missed opportunities to gain on the Padres. Padres are 5-5 in their last 10 games now after the 3 straight losses. In the top 7 in the wild card standings, no one is better than 5-5. Not a single team has gained a game on the San Diego Padres over those last 10. Not a single team in the top 7 in the wild card standings is better than 5-5. A few of them are worse, quite a bit worse than 5-5.
It's just one of those. This is going to be one of those years where it's like, does anybody want this at all? Anybody at all want this? And you see that every couple of years.
We got playoff spots.
Anybody?
Here. Playoff spots. Anybody?
Anybody want to surge ahead? No. Everyone just want to keep treading water and all that. But holy cow, man! Holy cow! That's interesting.
Keeping everybody in it.
Yeah,
that's
everybody's in
what's
it.
happening right now.
It is really the lone bright side of all of this, Benny. Is that when others are faltering as well. The timing of it, the opportunity cost of not making up and gaining
it would
ground.
Be so great to have just a little bit of wiggle room and feel a little bit more comfortable if you had taken care of business in some of these games, not sweeping the Marlins, not sweeping the Royals when you had a chance, and now 2 games against the Angels that you felt like, man, those were 4 very winnable games that you didn't win, and you could have a nice, comfortable. Like right there with the Braves at the top of the wild card standings, a good 4 or 5 games clear of everybody else. And no, you're just a game. You're in the second wild card spot. You're a game and a half up on the the non-wild card teams. We'll talk about last night's game in our Padres wrap up. We'll get to that right after check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Got a collision in Mission Valley now, southbound side of the 163, right at that 8 transition. Looks like you got the left lane blocked. Couple cars involved in this one. Watch out for some debris in the left lane as well. That's southbound 163 transition to the westbound 8. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. With free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates, see why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
Oh, a shame indeed.
It's a complete crap.
Oh, I did not like that.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
Are you kidding me?
Boo.
It's the Padres wrap-up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
It's not your fault.
1-2 pitch hit hard into left field, base hit. Arai's going to be waved. Ward comes up throwing. Here's the throw to the plate, no chance. Arai slides in feet first. An RBI single for Machado, a 2-out rally, and a 1-0 Padre lead. 0-2 to Rengifo. The pitch from Major is lined up the middle and into center, base hit. Yorme rounding third on his way. He's going to come in to score. An RBI single for Rengifo. The Angels cash in this walk and and a 1-1 game in the bottom of the third. 1-2 to Neto. De Los Santos delivers in a line drive to left field over Profar's head. That's going to be big trouble. Bounces up against the wall. Hoppy and Adele have scored. Moniak will be held at third. A 2-run double for Zach Neto, and the Angels lead for the first time tonight. It's 3-1. 3-1 pitch, hit hard and over the head of Rengifo into left field, base hit. Tatis has scored. Manny be held at third. An RBI single for Cronenworth, and now a 4-2 game here in the eighth. Rear against Estevez, hard hit grounder to short. Backhanded by Neto, he's got it. Throw to first is in time. A 1-2-3 ninth for Estevez. His second save in as many nights. And for the first time in 2024, the Angels have won back-to-back home games. Final score here tonight, the Angels 4 and the Padres 2.
Super frustrating. I mean, King goes back to the last game in Kansas City and gets into the seventh, and we had Waldy get into the seventh last night, and Mazur gives us 6 solid tonight, all, 1 runs. So, that's what the name of the game is, starting pitching and eating up innings, and those guys have done more of their part to give us a chance.
Embarrassing.
Do you want to start with the positive or the negative?
Start with the positive in Adam Mazur.
All right, Adam Mazur, pressed into his major league debut with the injuries to the pitching staff, acquitted himself really nicely.
He did.
He had a couple of walks, but
4.
Definitely got himself out of those by inducing double play grounders.
What a strategy.
Gave up just 2 hits in his 6 innings of work. As Mike Schilt said, you couldn't have really asked for anything more.
Nope.
You can't have asked for anything more in the last 3 games from the starting pitching. 3 losses, 7 innings, 1 run from Michael King, 6 innings, 6 and a third, 1 run, 2 hits from Matt Waldron, and then 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run from Adam Mazur. Those are 3 outstanding starts. You expect to go 3-0. When you get that kind of starting pitching, not 0-3, but yeah, Mazur was good. He's not overpowering,
nope,
certainly, and you wonder, against a lineup better than the Angels, whether he'll be able to have as much success. He certainly needs to stay in the zone. The 4 walks could be troublesome, in the future if that continues. But there were obviously some nerves there, and. I thought the moment, obviously the double play to end the first inning was a big confidence boost, but he comes out in the second inning, walks the first guy on 4 pitches, then throws a 5th straight ball, and Manny Machado walks over from third base, calls timeout, and just, I don't know what he said exactly, but he had that I'm very calm Manny Machado look to him. Luis Camposano came out as well, and whatever he said seemed to work and settle young Mr. Mazur down a little bit, and it was a nice moment of leadership from a veteran third baseman, and I did enjoy seeing that.
I did too, and again, not being able to scratch out a couple runs, pick this kid up a victory, make that story that you just told even more meaningful. The lack of offense last night again against a guy with a 5+ ERA. I know, I was texting with some buddies last night. I was looking at his numbers. He threw pretty well against the Yankees. You never know with these guys. I mean, they're big leaguers for a reason. They figure something out. And oh, okay, now I know what I was doing wrong with my changeup.
He has had a couple of really bad outings
really
that have inflated the ERA, but he's also had a number of good starts, and I think the big thing is he's left-handed.
The left-handed thing,
and that's I was trying to what's real and what's not real about the San Diego Padres.
That is real.
You can't just say, well, the Padres are a bad offensive team. That's not true. They're 9th in runs scored.
They can't hit left-handed pitching.
But what is real?
They struggle to.
They have struggled badly against left-handed pitchers. Chris Ello put the numbers together yesterday, and I think Sammy gave us an update on the postgame show last night. In the last 16 games against left-handed starters, the lefties have a 1.38 ERA and have held the Padres to 0 or 1 run, I think 11 times, and 2 or 3 maximum in all of them. And the Padres are now 4-12 in those games. The left-handed thing, the starters, that is a real struggle for the San Diego Padres. Everything else, it might just be a little bit of noise. The normal ups and downs of a baseball season. Guys get hot, guys get cold. The overall numbers offensively, starting pitching, bullpen, are pretty decent for the Padres. But their numbers against left-handed starting pitching are abysmal, and are taking what should be a team that's a few games above 500 and has pushed them down to a 500 team.
I mean, you saw Ron Washington's strategy last night. It was just like until we score some more runs, Sandoval's done. I'm going right back with the left-hander and Matt Moore. No quarter. I'm not giving you any quarter. Now, again, when they brought Luis Garcia in, we've seen enough Luis Garcia to know, all right, we're back in it. And we were. We had a chance. And, they attempted to make a comeback. Manny was on third. And who got the last out that inning? Solano, yeah. So just another tough one, man. Another tough one in Anaheim that stunk. And again, plenty of opportunities. Sandoval was good, but holy cow, man. I mean, how many lefties you going to let just eat your lunch for you every single time you go out? I mean, that can't happen.
Obviously, it's been a very rough last two outings for Yuki Matsui. After giving up the game in the ninth inning in Kansas City on Sunday.
I did not understand that.
He came in a 1-1 game, and to be fair, the first batter he faced, he got squeezed twice.
Yep.
On pitches that were in the zone and were called balls, and he walked the leadoff batter. You still can't walk the leadoff batter, and that is on him, especially on the 3-2 pitch. It wasn't that close, but there were two other pitches in that at-bat that lit up the zone, and he did not get the call behind home plate. So how do you respond? Well, second batter, he did fine. He induced a weak grounder chopper up the middle. In certain circumstances, it could be a double play. Instead, Ha-Sung Kim's throw brings Donovan Solano off the bag at first, so now it's first and second, nobody out, and then he kind of falls apart, and he can't hit the zone on the third batter, and now the bases are loaded. There's nobody out. He's out of the game, and at that point, you pretty much saw the writing on the wall. Enyel De Los Santos did get the first out with the force at home, but gave up the 2-run double to Zach Neto that got over Jurickson's head, and while he took a step in. I don't know that he's catching that either way, even if he has a perfect jump backwards on that. Even if he does, it's a sacrifice fly, and they're taking the lead there. Keeps the Padres in the game. I'm not blaming Jurickson for this loss. It was a tough outing, and Yuki Matsui, if you're going to put him in a close game again, got to be able to throw strikes. He's got to be able to throw strikes.
The pitch that was hit over Jurickson's head was such a cookie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a cookie. It was laid in there, just hanging slider, I think.
I mean, De Los Santos, that first at-bat battle.
I was like, here we go.
Got the grounder, look good, got some swing and miss. I'm going, maybe he can get out of this jam.
Let's take their soul right here.
Threw a really bad pitch there.
I mean, it was as center cut BP as you can get, and the guy put a great swing on it. And Jurickson, again, even if his first step is back, I don't know that he gets that ball. It was a seed. I don't know how hard he hit it. I should probably look that up. But that ball was smoked off the bat. And, yeah, there you go. That's the difference in the game. But the getting Matsui back on the horse in that spot, I just did not like it. He just was not. He was not competitive in his last in his last outing, and he wasn't competitive last night. And I don't know what you do with him. But once you start looking at a bullpen, if you're the manager, you're the general manager, if you're a fan, you go, all right, well, I can't go to Kolek, okay, unless it's mop-up, and even that didn't work. I can't go to Yuki unless it's a perfect situation. So now I'm subtracting two guys out of my bullpen that I can only use in very specific situations. That is not the recipe for success. I don't know the answer. I know that Ruben works really hard with those guys, and I know these guys are hard workers. Is it mental? Is it mental for those guys? That's got to mess with you. If you're Stephen Kolek and you blow a mop-up roll like that and have to use your closer and ends up costing you another game, that sucks. And Yuki, being uncompetitive the other night, they tried to get him back on the horse last night. It was a terrible, terrible decision because of the outcome. So I don't know what you do, but when you're looking at your bullpen before a game and you go, can't use him, probably not going to use him either.
Well,
your options are very limited.
He's the left-handed option, and I assume Adrian Morejon's going to get more of those. But he had pitched the day before.
Yeah, they don't do him back-to-back days.
Because he multiple innings. He was unavailable. So if you wanted to go to a lefty, you could have gone to Peralta in the seventh inning, Wandy, instead of Yuki. But usually, they save Peralta more for the eighth, and later in the games. But I would imagine that you're going to have to be a little more cautious about using Yuki Matsui going forward as well after two rough starts where it looked like his confidence was shaken a little bit, probably from Sundays. Blowing a game. First time in the big leagues where you have really let your team down like that. Completely. You had the lead. You were asked to close the game out for the first time. It's a confidence shaker, no doubt about it. And then the way they had innings started, couldn't have gone any worse.
No.
You get squeezed. Now you got a runner on. You get a ground ball. You're thinking, oh, double play, I'm out. Instead, nope, first and second, nobody out. And then it looked like his confidence was really rattled on that third batter.
Yeah.
Didn't give up any hard contact or anything. Just was not making his pitches there.
I was texting with some buddies about Yuki last night. I mean, when you go up to the plate against him, you can just be patient. You do not have to go up there and hack at all because he doesn't pound the zone at all. So you can be really, really selective, and he just doesn't attack the zone. He's in, he's out, he's up, he's down. Just not a lot of confidence from him right now. So look, he's making it for his ability level. We've got that guy, Ben, for like another 5 years, and his salary goes up every single year. It behooves them to get it figured out with Yuki Matsui.
I mean, we've seen some good swing and miss on
early.
Yeah, I mean, he had 7 1/3 straight shutout innings before his last outing.
But I don't know how much swing and miss he's gotten really since early in the season. But you keep the ball down, generally good things happen. But you got to be in the zone. You have to be in the zone, giving guys free passes. Even a team like the Angels, who's been they've been terrible. They will beat you at that level.
So that sets up a really important game tonight, I would say. And we'll talk about it later, but we talked about how you don't want your next streak to be a losing streak. You don't have to go on a winning streak, but you don't want the long losing streak. They're now at 3. So kind of red alert tonight for the Padres. We'll talk to Adam Jones to kick off our 7 o'clock hour next year on 97.3 The Fan. call for his.
Matthew with a great comment in the chat here. He says, do you think if you listen to, like, the Rockies flagship station, they're just like, well, they're bad again, and then they talk about the Nuggets? And I said, no. You talk about the Broncos. That's what they do. They immediately pivot from the Rockies, and they move right into the Broncos. We do not have that luxury.
Well, we can talk about the Broncos anytime you want. What do you mean we don't have that luxury?
That's true.
Broncos talk here on 97.3 The Fan.
Is Trevor Siemian still a Bronco? I have no idea.
I believe our next guest is going to be doing some Ravens talk this morning. You weren't here last week. Did you hear Where in the World Was Adam Jones last week?
You
totally missed
dying
it.
at home.
Right.
Last week, he was joining us from Mumbai, India.
Amazing.
For the cricket, the big cricket. And I don't know, where are you this week, Adam? AJ is with us here on 97.3 The Fan.
I'm in Barcelona.
Back in Barcelona.
Boring.
Boring. All right, so it's funny that I didn't know that. But there's been this discourse all week. Have you guys seen the Twitter discourse about cricket and American League or Major League Baseball? And it has been going crazy with the cricket lovers posting highlights of their best players. You know, we're posting highlights of incredible plays and, you know, nasty pitches, and it's been really fun. Have you seen that going online, AJ?
Oh, I have.
It's
The main
brilliant.
things though is I hate when people who can't do start comparing.
Sure.
What are you comparing? You can't do either.
Correct.
What are you sitting there comparing and showing all this stuff for? But going out there and playing cricket is incredibly, incredibly hard. And so is baseball. I mean, that's why we all have our own individual leagues and they have their own individual sports. So, I mean, I think it'd be a really cool challenge to see it both ways. Their ball bounces, but it's still coming in at, on average, 85 to 90 miles an hour. So it's still coming in at a significant velocity.
But they got that flat bat. How could you? I mean, imagine going up with
flat. That damn thing is a 2x4, bro.
It is.
I felt like King Arthur trying to fight off the damn Romans or something. I don't even know. I felt it was a sword. It was a weapon of oh my God.
But remember,
it was
you miss
crazy.
once, it's over for you.
Yeah, you miss once.
You miss once and it hits the wicket. You're done.
No,
You're done.
If it hits the wicket, you're done for the day, yes. And
For
you
the
know
day,
what? I
yeah.
propose that. What if you struck out in your first at bat and you're
That's it.
done for the day?
You don't get to bat again.
But you can hit. But you still have to play defense. Your spot is just missed in the batting order.
I kind of like that
That's
idea.
only
Can
if
we
you
get
struck
rid
out
of
in the
some of
first inning. Games will go quicker. Games will go quicker.
It really would. And then you get the best players, the guys that are hot, right? You know, they keep coming up in the
Exactly.
game.
Exactly. So somebody might just be hitting 7 times in a game, or you know what I mean?
I like
You never
that.
know.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Yeah, so Padres have dropped 3 straight, AJ. The lefty situation, you know, going up against lefties, I don't know that anybody on the planet has an explanation for it. Guys are hitting, you know, well below their career averages at lefty. Some guys are coming around. Fernando's a little bit better. Manny's a little bit better right now. But that is just one of those weird things. When you were in your career, did you care, righty, lefty? Did you love feasting off a lefty? Or why would that be harder for them this year as opposed to others?
That's a great question. I mean, it's adjustments, it's information, the other guys on the team knows these guys and like, look, I see Manny Machado here and I know he's a good hitter off lefty. Let me try and do everything opposite of what he likes to do. And if he chases it, he chases it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And if so it's like sometimes it's like if you just go up there sometimes and no hitter will ever do this. But if you go up there and just say, I'm just going to take this at bat, most times you'll either walk or probably be in a good situation to hit in, just because of reputation, name, what you've done. But again, these guys are competing too. You face Reagan. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball right now.
And you had him. You had that win. You know, that's the bummer.
You had it. Sandoval, he threw a hell of a game. I mean, he's been getting hit this year, but he threw a hell of a game. Tip your cap. But again, it's not like he's Scooble. He's not
right.
front of the line in the game. So you got to get those wins. And again, Anaheim is a team that is down, but they're a team that is with a lot of guys who know that they can be traded. Obviously, Kevin Pillar, who's been the last few years, he's been a journeyman. I've got to see him a lot in Toronto, and he's playing out of his ass right now. And he's probably looking, will probably be in a good situation, a winning situation sometime this summer because of the intangibles that he brings. And, he's a great teammate. He runs the bases well. He's a hell of a defender, timely hitting. So, things like that. And I think they have a few other guys in that boat that can be probably playing for other teams this summer. So, although they're not a very good team, they're still a team with guys that are trying to prove something for somebody else this summer. So these are games you got to win. You can't go there and lose 2-1. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you do. It happens. I know it's the sorriest part of the game, and it sucks. And I've been in that situation many, many times where you should be beating these teams, but you don't. And that's just part of it. I mean, we thought Oakland was going to have 60 wins in 60 games. Oakland is playing pretty damn good baseball. Same with the Tigers.
They'll be here soon. And I watched some of their game last night. They fought to the very, very last pitch of that game against the Mariners. They got to Munoz. I mean, they have been as scrappy as can be, and we'll see them here soon as well. I mean, those are the games. It doesn't scare me to go up against the Braves or the Yankees or the Phillies. I know those guys are good. I know they are. It's these games that I feel the most nervous about, the games against the Rockies, the Marlins, and teams like that, because of the expectation that you have to win. Do players feel that as well?
Sure. I mean, we know who we should beat. I mean, and again, I'm not in the clubhouse now, but I can, I understand the sentiment of a team that has expectations. And it's like, damn, man, we're supposed to lose. Even the Royals. The Royals are a good team. The Royals orchestrated a really good team. I'm not going to say anything bad about them. They've got a really good team this year, and Bobby Witt is the catalyst of it. But previous years, you go to KC, or KC comes to you, and you just wipe the floor with them. Now it's not the same. But Anaheim is the team that over the last decade, you could say, is the team that you go get your numbers off of. You go beat. That's the team you want to face come late in the season, pitch around Trout, and beat the hell out of everybody else. And these are the games, and the guys in the clubhouse know. They have been around. They are biting at the bit to get back at it tonight with frustration because, dude, you're not supposed to lose these games, especially with your pitchers going out there and giving up 2 runs.
Yeah.
Now, and again, the offensive guys, I know they're like, damn, come on, we got to get more than that. But again, they understand we got opportunity again today and the next day. But missed opportunities, too many missed opportunities are what kill you. Some, they don't kill you. But it's like last year when the Padres got hot, maybe 10 days too late.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Let's prevent that by taking care of these wins now. You talk about strength of schedule. Everybody was talking about the Orioles' strength of schedule at the beginning of the season was bad. So what? That's not your decision. That day, you're there to play who you play and take advantage of it. By them, the Brewers, by them getting ahead in their divisions and just playing well, obviously the Yankees are ahead of the Orioles, but it allows you to relax a little bit and say, I don't have to press. I don't need that 7-game winning streak to put myself back in. I just don't need a 4 or 5-game losing streak to get myself out.
Yep.
The different mindset. You guys understand that?
Yeah. Talking to Adam Jones here on Ben and Woods, and AJ, what's the reality of gambling when you're a big league player? Because we just obviously saw the lifetime ban for Tucapito Marcano, 4 minor leaguers suspended for a year. We know the rule, can't bet on baseball, but there's there's always a ton of gambling that goes on in a clubhouse. That's not new. Is there a new problem with gambling, do you think? Is this an isolated sort of one-time incident and we won't see it again for another 20, 30 years again like we haven't since Pete Rose?
I think I don't know. I treat this kind of like steroids, where like some guys might still try to do it to see if they get caught. Somebody, and again, people always get away with everything. I should say not people always, but a lot of people might get away with these kind of things, and then somebody gets caught. It's like the drug game. I mean, not every shipment is stopped. You know what I mean? We know that.
Yeah.
We know how it works. But with gambling, it's especially our rules. It's so freaking simple. I want to cuss, but it's so freaking simple. I know. I'm see my maturity.
Well, look at that. You're growing.
But the rule is you can bet on things. There's apps, but you can't bet on baseball. You cannot bet on your sport. That's easy.
It's easy
to me. I'm not a big bettor, so I don't care anyway. I always did the college football pools. I did the NASCAR, the Daytona 500s, the Kentucky Derbies. You do the horse races, you do the U.S. Opens, the Masters. We do events like that where you put money into a pool, put $100 into a pool, have some fun. Your winner is buying dinner. We do things like that. But and again, other guys I'm sure bet on football and bet on basketball, which are inside of our guidelines. We can do that. That is legal for us to do. But it is illegal in our sport to bet on our sport. It's pretty simple.
It's black and white, right? It's black and white.
Black and white. It's not like there's gray area where it's like, well, if you're on the DL or if you're not on the 40-man, you can't bet. No, jackass. I'm sorry. You cannot bet on your sport. And that's just what I was always taught. That was the first rule. We had Michael Francis, the ex-mob guy.
Yes,
who was on all
love
these
him.
missions. He came in the clubhouse and scared the living hell out of me at 18 years old, my first or second spring training.
No, he did not.
He came in the camp and told us and talked to us about online gambling, about bookies, about Sharkies. I've seen him 3 times in our clubhouse over my career. And it's simple. He's like, dude, you don't know who you're getting in bed with. And again, it's great that they've created the apps to where you can use your own credit card and you can track it all. But it's a slippery slope, and we've seen a lot of documentaries in the last decade about these kind of things, and it's a slippery slope. But our rule is it's black and white.
Yep.
You can't bet on baseball, but please bet on football, bet on basketball, bet on hockey, bet on damn table tennis if you feel like it. Bet on European water polo. There's a handball tournament you can bet on if you feel like it. No one cares about that, but you just can't bet on baseball, and that right there, yeah, unfortunate. The other people caught involved with it too. And I looked at the bets. It was 387 bets. I didn't look at the bets, but I heard the news. 387 bets and only worth $150,000. Man, you're gonna lose your whole damn career over $480 a bet.
Yeah,
man.
That sounds like an insane amount of money to normal people, Adam. Sorry, just have to point that out.
To a pro baseball.
I realize that.
No, it doesn't. There's tons. I know tons of people. I know tons of regular people that's betting thousands of dollars on a daily basis on games, $300-400 on games. I mean, the betting world is wild. It is crazy, and there's a lot of profit. But with athletes, just understand, you can't, especially baseball players, you can't bet on your game. That's it. Bet on everything else. We don't care, but don't bet on baseball.
I love that Michael Francis?
I don't think so.
Oh, my God. That is so cool that they brought him in. He was a former mafia
Terrified
boss.
me.
I bet he did. Yeah, I saw,
he said, you don't want to see me, I will come with a sledgehammer, I will break your kneecaps. And I'm sitting there at 18 like, damn, my knees look like they move a little bit. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, they won't be. Like,
It's incredible. It's incredible. I saw something that really summed it up for me yesterday. I can sum it up in this. The legal position of the league, regardless of the DraftKings and all the partnerships they have, the legal position of the league is as clear as it's been for 100 years. It's never deviated. That's it.
Yep.
If you work for an MLB team or your player, you can't bet on baseball. You can't wager with unlicensed bookmakers. That's it. It's so black and white. It's not DraftKings.
Yeah,
it's not DraftKings' fault that Tucupita Marcano is suspended for life.
It's not even hypocritical.
It's not even hypocritical.
It's simple.
It's his mistake.
That's
it's like, again, it's like using steroids.
Yep.
Like and again, with the crackdown in 2003, I was there, and then the George Mitchell report, you'd be a fool to use steroids. Again, people have done it. More people, people have done it and have gotten away with it. We know that. That's just part of anything. But why, again, like, I understand the steroid part of it. You got a chance to make a lot of money.
Yes.
You got a small window of life.
That actually makes sense.
But that makes sense. There's big guys that benefited from it.
Yeah.
But to bet on the game, like, and again, the worst part about it is that he's not an American. So he's going to go back to his country and even be shamed even more.
Oh, it's terrible.
Here in America, we have, you guys in America have just the innate ability of uplifting people. Okay, he made a mistake.
Yeah, sure.
Well, look, he can be an advocate for something like this.
Absolutely.
In his country,
shamed.
He
Yeah.
might be driving taxis.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even make that connection. That's a bummer. It makes a bad situation even worse, man.
Worse.
I love that insight from you, man. We really appreciate it as usual.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. You got John Harbaugh today or Jim Harbaugh?
I assume John.
I got John.
John.
I got the brother. I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm doing a family. I'm trying to do a family, whole family thing. Obviously, Jim getting to LA and the Chargers. My brother was there with me in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And with out in the Ravens, and he was just juiced to get to spend a couple minutes with Jim Harbaugh, as when he was already announced being the Chargers coach. Big Chargers fans, and obviously they got Greg Roman. They got a couple of the defensive players. So it's kind of being the Ravens South. I'll say the Ravens West in a bit.
Well, they took their general manager from the Ravens
got the general manager too.
Yeah.
Yep. And hey, smart. I think that is that's flattery, right?
Yeah.
Greatest form of imitation.
That's right.
So if you don't take from losers, you take from winners.
Exactly.
John seems like a fairly normal guy, and Jim seems like a complete lunatic.
Yeah.
And yet they're brothers.
They're brothers
from the same family. I never totally get that.
You got that correct.
Well, look at you and your brother. It's totally different people.
Different people, but neither of us are lunatics.
Speak for yourself.
Okay,
I mean, come on. There's
Sam's not,
there's different levels of lunacy.
Yeah, I guess so. Adam, thank you so much. Have a good week.
Thank you, buddy.
Always, brother. Love you guys.
Love you
Adam
too, man.
Jones, Big League Wednesday, a little bit earlier than usual. Appreciate Adam. We will push back, take on Woods for another 30, 45 minutes or so, and then we'll get to our daily game. But Don't Do This is coming up next. Now, Aroldis Chapman has appeared in Don't Do This before for much more serious, gnarly things. This one is actually
mother fondling.
This one's actually fairly lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
For Don't Do This.
Got a great piece of audio from John Kruk last night. I'm not a Phillies fan, but if I were, I would very much enjoy tuning into the broadcast every night to hear Kruk's insane stories. We got one for you.
That's coming up next after a check of traffic with Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. By the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. It is thecrafttaco.com. And Woods, why don't you, since we were just talking gambling with Adam Jones, why don't you start with the update on the Shohei Ohtani, Ippei Mizuhara case from yesterday in DDT?
You know, I will get to that in 1 second. I got a DM yesterday from a guy named Eric, and he said him and his daughter Harley play along with Take on Woods every day, and could we give her a happy 10th birthday shout-out? I said, no problem. Then I realized we push Take on Woods. So if you're still in the car, Harley, happy birthday. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing along. And don't gamble and steal money from your friends. This is what happens. It's a good lesson here on Don't Do This. Ippei Mizuhara, former interpreter, of course, for Shohei Ohtani, it went to court yesterday, pled guilty to a couple of different charges, Benjamin, and he is facing, in 33 years in prison, his sentencing is set for October 25th.
He won't get that.
He won't get that. What's the over-under?
That's a good question. Well, obviously, they reached a plea deal.
They did.
Which means they offered him less jail time to plead guilty.
Correct.
So it's not going to be the maximum. I don't know. I'm going to set the over-under at 5 years.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be, he's got to pay restitution, I think, up to, oh, no, he's got a fine of $1.25 million he's got to come up with, which is really, it's tough. I mean, you don't have a lot of money, and so yeah, he's going to do time. Certainly, don't know when he will get out.
And then when he does, he's not a U.S. citizen, so he likely would not be allowed to remain in this country.
Yeah, and then of course, Major League Baseball immediately put out a statement, saying this case is now officially closed. And Shohei put out a statement saying that he appreciates how thorough and how quickly moved.
Yeah, I see still some people who are skeptical of the case, and I understand that. I mean, if there was going to be a situation where you were trying to sweep under the rug gambling allegations against your biggest star, and you were like, how can we possibly figure out how to make this go away? You'd probably have to concoct something like, his interpreter stole his money, and he'd had no knowledge of it. I still think it stretches the limits of believability to think that possibly could be what happened.
Does the federal government care about Major League Baseball's biggest investment in Shohei Ohtani?
No, they shouldn't. Is Ippei Mizuhara really willing to go to jail for multiple years for something he did not do at all?
Yeah.
And what kind of promises can you make? I wouldn't go to jail for you for multiple years.
Oh, no, I'm not serving any time for anyone ever again.
I would think not. So that's why I tend to believe that this is the true story in the case, and I'm willing to move on from it. Speaking of the Los Angeles Dodgers, they were involved in our second DDT story. They were trailing the Pittsburgh Pirates 1-0 in the 8th inning yesterday, and Aroldis Chapman was on the mound for the Pirates, and he gave up, I think, Ohtani a single and a walk to Will Smith. So the tying go-ahead runs were on base. Teoscar Hernandez was at the plate, and Chapman threw kind of a cookie slider down the middle.
Meaty.
And Hernandez, who's hit a bunch of bombs this year, got a hold of one to center field, and Chapman immediately just slams his glove on the mound. I mean, you think he must have hit that one to the moon. This must be like 460 feet over the fence just because he slams his glove down. Jack Sawinski catches it right as he hits the warning track. Maybe a foot on the grass, still a foot on the track. But
there's plenty of room.
There was room. It was not. He didn't have to go over the wall or anything to catch it. It was a fairly deep but routine fly ball. And the funny thing is that Andrew McCutchen came into the dugout, came and did the big
making
fun of him at the end of the inning, throwing his glove down like, dude.
When I first saw it, I'm like, did he just give up the sack fly that tied the game? Because I don't think that's gone, right?
No.
And no, it was he just caught it and it was over. He got a little overreaction.
Yeah, it was kind of funny actually
from him. And then of course, I think John Kruk is one of those guys. If you love him, do you love him or hate him? Is he one of those guys? Or is he universally beloved?
I think there's a couple of things that are problematic about Krucker.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's pretty easy to like. He's a pretty lovable baseball dude.
He's one of those guys on the broadcast, when you listen to him call a Phillies game, he's like, come on, are you kidding me? That call's terrible. What are you doing?
I saw one the other day, or maybe it was yesterday, and that is a called strike. He goes, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't? Yeah, he goes,
yeah, I mean, it was called a strike, but it wasn't a strike.
He's so good, dude. He's just unfiltered. So I love his stories. God, baseball players are such good storytellers. Here's him spinning a yarn last night on the broadcast.
Did I ever tell you that story staying at the Animal Kingdom? First night, right? We used to do stuff for the ESPN down at Disney, like Animal Kingdom. They put us up. So the first day, I open up the shade. There's a dang giraffe looking in my window. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Did you feed it anything?
I did not. I was scared of it.
Like a eucalyptus tree or something?
We don't have those in West Virginia, so I didn't know what to feed it. It scared the heck out of me. Those things got big heads.
Yes, they do. Well, they're long, too. Ball, bare hands throws, not in time. So, did you take a photo of the giraffe?
No, I didn't know how to do it at that time, Tom.
I didn't know how to take a photo.
You wake up in the morning in a little bit of a fog, and you look out, and there's a giraffe looking at you like, wait a second.
You don't always see a giraffe.
Well,
not every day. A high bouncer to third.
You get the sense that his partner's like, when Kruk says, did I ever tell you that story? You can feel
boy.
Oh, God.
That's the equivalent here is Mud pulling out his phone. Hey, let me show you this video.
100%.
Have I ever shown you this?
Kind of Babe Ruth, John Daly, Bill Walton.
Yeah, all in one. Yes.
Kind of rolled into one.
I love him, dude. I love him. And again, the more baseball stories you can hear, the better. They're all great at telling stories, and he is no exception.
And that is Don't and Do this for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
And very appropriately, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Prize Picks. Join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. And if you are a professional baseball player, don't pick professional baseball players.
Correct.
No, you can.
You can.
As Adam Jones said,
you can do golf.
Absolutely can. Football, basketball, hockey, golf. There are all kinds of sports that you are absolutely allowed to 100% to do Prize Picks and anything else you want. Visit prizepicks.com for details. All right, is the struggles for the San Diego Padres, is the solution another trade? Right now, new rumors that were popping up and being discussed yesterday. We've got some thoughts on Garrett Crochet and the latest rumors involving A.J. Preller coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. That later in the show, we're going to give away a pair of tickets for tomorrow's Padres homestand opener against the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is Xander Bogaerts bobblehead night for first 40,000 fans. Tomorrow, going to pick up a Xander Bogaerts bobblehead. And
careful with those words. I don't want you to choke or anything.
You weren't here for that yesterday.
Oh, but he was made aware of it.
We weren't sure that, that Frank was going to be able to pull that out.
It was late in the show. You were out, checked out, tired, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was tired. I took a weird swallow and something got caught in my throat.
But you didn't take a sip of anything.
I didn't. It was just
that was
completely.
The weird part.
It was just something. I just taking kind of a weird. And this just got caught in my throat as I was trying to speak. Let's talk about it for a minute or two, because we were just talking about the hip check and the treatment that she's gotten here in her first month in the Excuse me.
What in the? All right. All timer. Stop. What was that? Can you?
The hip check and the treatment that she's gotten here in her first month in the Excuse me.
What? It's like somebody put cayenne pepper up your nose or something.
It almost felt like that.
Yeah.
It was just something just got caught. You know, they say you got caught in my throat, like words got caught in my throat.
Quiet.
You can hear it.
It's like doing keyboards or something.
Wow. In the Excuse me.
Golly, Betty. You okay?
The Angels lineup.
Angels batting order dominated the Padres again last night. God.
Kendry Morales for the home run. Vladimir Guerrero had key hits along the way.
Played every day.
And the Angels batting order. Just, wore out the Red Sox pitching staff.
Why do
The Angels pitching staff just wore out the Padres batting order.
Why do I feel like, though, with Saw, it definitely wasn't words. It was like nut skin or something. Like a skin of a peanut got caught in there. You know, I can see him eating
that nut skin.
Yeah. Well,
as you saw, though, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything.
Right.
I wasn't eating anything. I wasn't drinking anything. It just something got caught.
I feel like he would have a bowl of peanuts next to him as he broadcast, and the nut skin gets caught in the throat, and that's what it has always sounded like to me. A nice little piece of nut skin.
All right, let's check traffic. Want to talk about the trade rumors from yesterday, hopefully in a coherent and non-throat-catching way. Next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by The Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware on University Avenue in Hillcrest. Couple of problems here, guys. One of them is a crash on eastbound 8 before Fletcher Parkway. 2 cars got into it. They're over the right shoulder. Stalled car on the University Avenue on-ramp to northbound 805. The Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware on University Avenue in Hillcrest. Now through Father's Day, save up to $200 on select Traeger wood pellet grills. You heard right, up to $200. The Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware, where service still matters. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I think we keep imagining, and I think it's fair to do so, that the Padres' injuries to Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove are going to be a problem going forward, that there's not enough pitching depth to keep the Padres going until they get those guys back. So far, it hasn't. I mean, one trip through the rotation without those guys, and Randy Vasquez did a decent job in a game the Padres won, and then Adam Mazur did an excellent job last night in a game the Padres lost. But it hasn't been the lack of starting pitching that is hurting the Padres lately. Now, that could change at any time, and because of that, it was reported yesterday in The Athletic that the Padres were in active discussions trying to acquire more pitching, specifically A.J. Preller talking again to the Chicago White Sox after getting Dylan Cease from them right before the start of the season about Garrett Crochet, who's been their breakout #1 pitcher so far this season. They converted him from a reliever, gets a ton of strikeouts, leads the American League with 93 strikeouts, has been especially good lately with, I think, just 3 earned runs allowed in his last 5 starts. And he's a lefty, which it complements what the Padres don't have, which is a very righty-heavy starting rotation that you could add to the pitching depth. Of course, the downside here is that the White Sox are not particularly motivated to trade him at the moment. They have 2 years plus of control left on Crochet, and they'd be asking for a quite large return in terms of prospects to make that deal right now. Now, he's not Dylan Cease.
I was just going to say, the precedent's been set, I think, earlier this year. You traded Drew Thorpe, Samuel Zavala, Jairo Iriarte, and Steven Wilson.
Yes.
It's going to cost more or less for Crochet?
I mean, it should cost less. This guy does not have the credentials of Dylan Cease.
Got 1 more year of control.
He has 1 more year of control. He's cheaper. He's only making the minimum essentially this year, $800,000. But you're also just gambling that a guy who got off to a hot start is going to keep doing that. I think it might be a little bit less. But the problem for the Padres is that they traded the large, they kept the top prospects for the most part in Salas and DeVries and Lesko and Snelling. But then that next level, that kind of mid-level, they've traded most of them. So they don't have any more of those guys necessarily that are going to be interesting to the White Sox in a deal. They're going to have to dip into their top guys to make any deal happen at this point. And I just don't know that Garrett Crochet is worth top prospects at this point, or that Garrett Crochet even makes a huge difference. He could have pitched last night and gone 6 innings and given up 1 run and 2 hits. Yeah. And guess what? Padres still lose that game because pitching wasn't the problem for the Padres last night. So is it worth it if you're the Padres to go out and spend more of your now dwindling prospect capital to add another arm to your starting rotation?
What a difference a few days makes. My thoughts on this were different 2 days ago, 3 days ago, even. I mean, it's such a weird. Now, I know we're going to need starting pitching, but again, sitting here at 500, albeit in a wild card, firmly in a wild card spot in a very average NL this year, Ben. My gut tells me you are going to need. You do want to compete, yes? Like we all do. All Padres fans want to compete, and I guess the phrase that people hate to hear is "go for it." But I don't see you really having a choice other than to go for it. Is this move in and of itself the smartest move? Probably not. Do you need more help than just one frontline starter in Garrett Crochet? Yes, you do. And I think it's pretty evident that you need help in the bullpen. You might need another catcher. You definitely need another bat, and you need another starting pitcher. So if I got to give up my top prospects, I want more than Garrett Crochet back. Does that make sense to you? Like we need to get out of the thought that AJ Preller is not going to go for it. And again, I hate another calendar year goes by. Manny gets a year older. Xander's already hurt, but he gets a year older. Toddy gets a year older. Jake gets a year older. You gets a year older. Joe gets a year older. Here we go. You're pot committed to trying to compete every year. So my answer is compete. Go out and try to do what you can do to improve the ball club, as he always does. I'm not worried. The people that are wringing their hands over, oh, God, how do we let go of Lesko? He's got the next Lesko in his mind already. He's got the next Snelling in his mind. He's got the next Salas in his mind. Not that I want to trade Salas. You know what I'm saying? I've never been worried about the restocking and the hype that goes behind A.J. Preller's prospects because it's usually always there.
I guess my question, certainly if you traded for Crochet, maybe you get Kopech too. That helps the bullpen. If you get healthy, you could push Michael King back to the bullpen where he's had, he was very successful with the Yankees last year. He's certainly done nothing to lose his spot in the starting rotation either, but you could lengthen your bullpen and help your starting rotation. For me, the question is, yes, you want to make the playoffs. Right now, the Padres with the roster they would have made the playoffs at this point. Does Garrett Crochet even get a start in the playoffs if you get there? I mean, because you're probably going with a 4-man rotation. Does he even get there beyond?
What are you talking about? Why wouldn't he?
Dylan Cease. I mean, if you Darvish and Joe Musgrove are healthy,
that's the big if, right?
They come back. If they don't, then yes, you definitely have to consider doing this. And maybe part of the equation is not knowing how serious, especially Joe's injury, is really considered. Inside the training room, do they feel like he's going to come back and be fine, or are they pretty worried now that they're not going to have a healthy Joe Musgrove for the second half of the season and a potential playoff run. If you're not, then you definitely you need another arm at some point, because even if you sneak into the playoffs, if you're then relying on a Randy Vasquez to make a start or an Adam Mazier to make a start in a playoff game, that's not a great strategy going forward. I'd rather have someone like Garrett Crochet. But I don't want to spend a ton of prospects on Garrett Crochet if he's not going to be a difference maker for the Padres this season.
Well, you can say that about anybody that you acquire. You don't want to spend a ton to get a guy that may not
like
be
Dylan Cease was a difference maker already, and Luis Ariz has been a difference maker already.
Yeah, and Crochet's he's had some arm problems in the past, but seems to be pretty healthy and has figured out a lot on a really bad team. But again, the names that I saw bandied about yesterday, I don't really want to trade Ethan Salas for Garrett Crochet.
No.
I don't want to trade Leodalis DeBreeze for Crochet. But again, I do feel that A.J. Preller's strength is restocking the farm, and you can't tell me that he doesn't do that. I've seen it. We've all seen him do it over and over and over and over. So I guess play to your strengths if you're a GM, right? That's all we can ask for. Play to your strengths.
If this trade doesn't work out, is A.J. Preller even the one restocking the farm, though?
That's a good point.
Going forward.
It's a very, very good point. And I don't know the answer to that. None of us do. But I look at this as a team right now that's sitting at 500, certainly have not been playing their best baseball the last 3 games. But they have holes. They're undeniable holes. Undeniable on this team. So as a GM, your job is to address that and fix those holes. I don't get the sense, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't get the sense that he's in job-saving mode, because I feel like if he was in job-saving mode, a lot of these guys would already be in other organizations. I feel that way. What I do know for a fact is he doesn't have an unlimited budget to play with, so he's going to have to get creative. I said it yesterday. We need our GM to do the best GMing of his career. And again, this year, honestly, with even the holes that we have, so far so good. Luis Campusano started out this season really, really well, putting together really quality ABs. Was mentioned daily for his framing ability, his ability to steal strikes. All that's gone. It's gone. It's out the window. He's lost right now, and
he's a liability.
He's a liability
behind the plate and at the plate right now.
Legitimately cost Matsui a couple of strikes last night with nothing other than just being lazy after it, just going after it in a lazy fashion. So yeah, address those needs, because that's your job as a GM. You can't keep running the same guys out there. You've given these guys 62 games right now to prove themselves, and there's a lot of guys pointed in the wrong direction.
You can say, hey, maybe they can add a bat as well in this trade. Luis Robert, but
doesn't he make a ton of money?
Yeah, and do you really think the answer
Where's
to
he
all
play?
Is the answer to all the Padres' problems lying on the worst team in baseball
White Sox,
right now?
Right. Where does he play if you get Luis Robert? That's the thing, too. You got to work in the constraints of the money that you have or don't have to spend, and you have to work in the constraints of what you have on your roster position-wise. Hey, man, I'd love it if you went out and traded for 2 premium bats, a premium catcher, a premium starting pitcher, and 3 bullpen arms. I'm all in. I'll give you every prospect I got. I don't care. But where do they play? Can you afford it? These are the big questions, which is why he needs to be extremely creative.
I'm glad AJ's looking into it, just because he is creative enough that maybe he will surprise us with a deal that doesn't look that bad from the Padres side, that addresses an issue or two with a price tag that we all find acceptable.
But the price tag that there's going to be people that hate it and people that love it, no matter who it is. Who's untouchable right now? Untouchable.
I think Salas is pretty untouchable.
Okay.
I don't even think, I'm not sure ownership would authorize A.J. Preller trading Ethan Salas at this point.
Okay. Why?
Well, he's the number 6 prospect in all of baseball. Okay. He's 18 years old.
Mm-hmm. Well, your window is...
And it's a premium position that you have struggled to fill for a long time.
So what makes you think that this guy is the right guy after struggling to fill that position
it's not
for
me.
a decade?
It's baseball thinks that he's the right guy.
Well, those lists have been proven wrong more than they've proven right.
True.
Especially ours. Look,
I don't think you can trade Salas for a converted reliever who's gotten off to a hot start.
Not just him.
Okay.
Not just
all
him.
right. We're discussing something bigger then.
Yeah, I mean, we have. If we were a starting pitcher away, sure, go ahead. Let's go, Snelling, whatever you got to do. One starting pitcher away, we're not, man. We're a catcher, potentially a first baseman. You got Donovan Solano playing first for your team right now, a designated hitter that can hit a left-handed pitcher. You know, there's all kinds of holes. 2 arms in the bullpen. I mean, there's plenty of holes to fill.
Sauer on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the San Diego County Fair. Let's go retro at the San Diego County Fair, opening June 12th. The magic of the Midway concerts, nostalgic celebration of fashion, culture, and more. Buy your tickets online at sdfair.com. That's sdfair.com. We'll play some Take on Woods, reset the show, coming back next year on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday, midpoint of our week here on Ben and Woods. Great to be here with you. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Ryle. Excuse me, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And we are talking, of course, all things Padres baseball, as we normally do here on the program this morning. And, the other thing, Benny, I was going to bring up about, the constant flurry of trades and activity is you did get a sense a few weeks ago, and maybe you still have it, that the San Diego Padres of this year, they've been talking a lot about how they are more together, how there is less of maybe a fractured clubhouse for whatever reason. That always changes when 3 to 4 guys get moved or 2 to 3 guys get added. It's got to be the right fit, got to be the right personality. But if you're a Padre and you've been here for 5, 6, 7 years, you're used to it, I would imagine, at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing that you need to consider. As far as, the long-term future of the team, it's just such a weird spot to be in for this team, committed so heavily to so many people for so long. The other question that no one's asking is, obviously you wouldn't do it because the NL is not great and you're in a wild card spot right now. But what pieces do you move from the big league team that could potentially help you, or do you not want to do that? Because I'll tell you this right now, I see a lot of people saying trade Ha-Seong Kim. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Well, listen. I know of 3 to 4 players in there that would probably riot if you traded Ha-Seong Kim. Now, that's not a reason when you're trying to win a World Series to not do that. But, you talk about the makeup of a team, and there's just guys not playing well right now. You know what I mean? But again, if you wanted to be a mercenary, you could trade a guy like Ha-Seong Kim. You brought up the point off the air. There's guys on this roster that they have control of for a while. I don't want to move Jackson Merrill. I don't think you should do it at all.
Well,
I think that would be insane.
Okay, so I did mention it.
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill.
Hey,
which
Jackson?
is different than mentioning it on the air, but no, that's fine.
I didn't know you didn't.
No, that's fine.
I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus.
No. And I'll explain myself because
oh God,
listen to the logic. I think you were touching on it. Trading Ha-Seong Kim does nothing to help this team. There's no team out there that's like the White Sox. They have no use for Ha-Seong Kim.
None
They're
whatsoever.
not going anywhere this year. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Now, you could trade Ha-Seong Kim to a contender.
Like the Dodgers, who
but
need a shortstop.
A contender is going to give you prospects back.
Correct.
Which you could do. There's an argument to be made that you're going to lose Ha-Seong Kim at the end of the year. If you can get something for him, go ahead and do that. I will listen to that argument.
And can this team stay around 500 without Ha-Seong Kim?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So there's an argument to be made for that. But if you're trying to improve this roster, you're talking right now, there's only a handful of teams that are going to be willing to give up current big leaguers. They are the teams that really don't think they're in it. We're talking the Marlins, the White Sox, and, the Angels, maybe a couple of other teams. They are only going to be interested either in your prospects or guys with a lot of team control.
Correct.
And one of those guys,
is Jackson
which
Merrill.
I mentioned, is Jackson Merrill, a player who we are very excited about. I've loved everything I've seen about him, but is playing out of position again with the Padres. Has done a really nice job out of position, but he's not playing somewhere where he's comfortable. He's at a valuable position that a lot of teams look and say, a shortstop who's already shown he can kind of handle the bat pretty well on the big league level, seems to have a good head on his shoulders. He would be someone that would be very valuable to another team that would be willing to part with big leaguers right now because they're not in it.
Because they're not going anywhere.
And you actually could, if you acquired like a big league outfielder, like a Luis Robert, you could actually fill his spot in the outfield. You can move Tatis to center field, put Robert in a corner, you can move Tatis back to the infield, whatever you wanted to do, depending on who you acquired. You could do that. I don't think the Padres are interested in trading Jackson Merrill.
I doubt it.
But if they don't think he's going to develop a little more power, if he's simply a good bat-to-ball guy, which he's shown, you already have the best bat-to-ball guy in baseball now, in Luis Arraez.
Can you have too many bat-to-ball guys?
Actually, yes. Well, no. But you also have
that game against Kansas City where they just rattled off like 14 singles in a row.
That was
I was fine with that.
I was, but then remember after that they've gone 3 games where they've now struggled to do that. That's a little fickle. Yeah. Having a few power guys, who are going to hit you 35 to 40 bombs those go well with your bat-to-ball guys. And right now, they're not getting the power to go with the bat-to-ball guys that they've got. You need a mix of both. And until, you think Tatis is that 40. He's hit 40 before. Not anywhere on pace to do close to that this year. Manny is at, consistently 30. He's not anywhere near that pace either. And really, you're not left with anybody else who you even kind of can hope on that can get to a level like that on your team. Xander, even if he's healthy, is not going to be that playing at Petco Park. You don't have enough power on this team right now. So locking up all your bat-to-ball guys is just stocking up on an area where you're already doing well. Where are the guys who can drive those guys in, though?
Yeah,
I guess my question is, you just said locking up locking up players. How many more players can the Padres really lock up?
Yeah, I mean, like,
what do you consider locking up?
None. You're going to have to
4, 5,
trade. You're going to have to
deals?
trade some people to clear some room. And if you can't trade any of your long-term guys, which you probably can't, then you have to consider trading the guys that you have control over that don't have no trade clauses.
Or your prospects. That's your option.
Those are your only options.
I've kind of come to grips as a major fan of Ha-Seong Kim that he's not going to be in a Padres uniform after this year.
I just
don't see how they can pay him what he's going to command.
Now, could he defer 98% of his salary to 20 years from now, like other people
Everybody else is so locked up for much longer than what Ha-Seong Kim's probably going to, a 5-6 year contract maybe. Like, you've got your whole infield and your right fielder is locked up for that long. Like, I can't do another 6 years of just shifting guys around. Like, I would like a more stability in the lineup
and in the organization potentially. I again, that's why I think
6 more years of having 8 different infielders. You're like,
okay, conversely, you keep adding mercenaries, even if they have a year or two of control, because Dylan Cease has 1 year after this one.
1 year after this one.
So he's essentially, it's like the guarantee in radio. I've got what's our 90 days. If they fire me, they have to pay me for 90 days, even though I have a 3-year contract. I get paid for 90 days, 3 months. Okay? The 1 year remaining of control, it is what it is. You're probably looking to move him because he's more attractive. You're not going to re-sign him because you don't have the money. You may wait to the deadline if you're not in it, but what if you're in it? There's a lot to think about with all of these moves. What does the ideal San Diego Padres team look like 3 to 4 years from now? Is Ethan Salas and Jackson Merrill your cornerstones? But you still have Manny. You still got you. You still got Joe. You still got Crony. You got Xander. You got Tatis. I mean, it's in theory, when healthy, sounds like a decent team the next 3 to 4 years.
If you keep those guys, if you keep Merrill and Salas, in 4 years, you better hope that they're all like high-level all-stars.
Exactly.
Because they're going to be the guys that are the core, and then you're going to have kind of some aging veterans that you're hoping still have a little bit left in the tank. They're not going to be able to carry the team anymore. Tatis maybe, hopefully will still be of an age in 4 or 5 years where he's in his prime, but Manny and Xander won't be, and you and Joe Musgrove won't be.
Me, I definitely won't be.
You Darvish won't be.
Oh, you Darvish.
So you're going to need, if you're keeping those guys, they're going to have to be stars.
Yes.
So is Jackson Merrill going to be a star in Major League Baseball in the next, 3 to 5 years? If he is, you keep him.
Yeah.
If you don't think he's going to be a star, if he's just a good,
but who could say?
Well, that's the job. That's AJ Preller's job, for him to try to say which guys are going to be stars and which guys are just pieces that you can use right now to make your team better. I don't know, but it's his job to at least have the best opinion on what is true and what is not true. And he hasn't been right all that often either over the last few years.
As far as which ones to
keep and which ones not to keep.
Yeah, and so it certainly begs, it makes interesting talking points, also exhausting talking points, because I don't know if it's feasible to go out and get 3 guys from the White Sox for all of your prospects. I don't have a lack of faith that he's able to replenish the farm, though. He always does. That's the only thing that helps me sleep at night is like, well, they said he couldn't do it. He did it again. And potentially even better. So,
given another year and a half, I'm pretty confident Padres will have a lot of top ranked prospects
100%.
Baseball America loves.
Of course.
And, other teams will salivate over.
Correct.
So he does that very well, consistently.
No doubt.
We need a contestant for Take on Woods. We pushed it back from last hour since we had Adam Jones on. So call right now if you don't get to play. If you're a little bit of a late riser, joins the program a little bit later. We've got instant win prize this week. We have tickets to the Kings of Late Night at the San Diego County Fair, featuring Jay Leno, Craig Ferguson, and Arsenio Hall. Tickets are on sale now at sdfair.com, but you can win them right now by taking on Woods in our musical trivia challenge. 833-288-0973. Call now. 833-288-0973. We'll play our game as soon as we get a contestant dialed in. Still to come on the second half of the program. We'll obviously talk some more Padres baseball as we move forward. Looking forward to a Ryle report now that Paulie's back. Went to Las Vegas, brought us back some nice gifts.
What'd you
from
get?
Las Vegas? I got more of the cards that they hand out on the strip.
What do you do with yours? Do you have a little folder at home?
What do I do? No, I usually just stick them in my wallet just in case you ever need them.
Wallet.
Yeah, I mean,
Fantastic.
these ones are a little big though.
They
I feel
are.
like they're getting supersized now. They used to be a little bit smaller. Now they're not really wallet.
Well, you gotta stand out.
Anymore.
They've cracked down on them on the strip.
Should I
Have they?
They're not everywhere anymore. They used to be on every single street corner that you walked on. They flapping them right in your face.
Yeah.
Take these.
You're like, buddy, I'm with my wife. What are you doing? Get out of my
Should
face.
I
Hit me
get
later.
one of those nice, like sleeves, like they put baseball cards
Oh,
in?
please get one. I'll get you one for Christmas.
Maybe even mounted, like behind, heavy plastic on a wall.
Interesting word choice.
Very interesting word choice.
All right, I see some people calling in. Let's get to today's game. It is time to take on Woods. All right, let's go to line 2. Who's this? You're on the air.
This is Nathan.
Nathan, are you ready to play Take on Woods?
I am ready.
All right, you're our contestant today. You already know what we're playing for. Take on Woods is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. You go first. Woods goes second. 5 questions. If you beat or tie him, we will give you the tickets to the Kings of Late Night at the San Diego County Fair. Here are your categories. It's not false. Pretty obvious, but I'll let you figure that one out. Ooh, I know this one. Those are bands with double O in their name. And our new category, over, under. Those are song titles that include either over or under in the title. So it's not false. Ooh, I know this one, or over, under. Nathan, what would you like to play?
Let's do over under.
Over, under. All right. So today you're gambling with your knowledge of song titles that include either over or under in the title. You'll have 60 seconds for the 5 questions. If you don't know, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left. First question is the 2-second song. You need to identify the title of the song and the artist for the point. So, Nathan, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right, Paulie, 60 seconds on the clock. Good to go. Remember the category over, under. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Nathan. Let's take on Woods.
Men at Work. Men at Work.
Yep. What's the title of the song? You can pass.
Man Down Under.
Nope, that's not it. Which Men at Work song is considered the unofficial national anthem of Australia?
Who can it be now?
No, incorrect. Hey now, which 1986 song was a debut hit for the band Crowded House?
Pass.
Mick Jagger sings about the way she talks when she's spoken to, in which 1966 classic by the Rolling Stones?
Oh, man, I'm not doing good this one. Pass.
Spin Magazine called which 1973 track with a 6-word title the quintessential Led Zeppelin song with an unforgettable and impossible to pin down opening riff and a life-affirming transition from acoustic to electric? Oh, I thought it was starting so well. He got Men at Work. He was right there. And then the titles just did not come to him. Overkill was our 2-second song. Down Under, of course, is the unofficial national anthem of Australia. Just didn't put those two together. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. Under My Thumb from the Stones. And Over the Hills and Far Away by Led Zeppelin. This is going to be a Woods win. But we'll see if he can manage this category without knowing what it's about. Tricky one. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Nathan.
It's Men at Work. Overkill?
Correct. And which Men at Work song is considered the unofficial national anthem of Australia?
Land Down, is that Land Down Under?
Correct. Hey Now, which 1986 song was a debut hit for the band Crowded House?
Don't Dream It's Over.
Correct. Mick Jagger sings about the way she talks when she's spoken to in which 1966 classic by the Rolling Stones?
Under My Thumb.
Correct. Spin Magazine called which 1973 track with a 6-word title the quintessential Led Zeppelin song with an unforgettable and impossible to pin down opening riff and a life-affirming transition from acoustic to electric?
Oh, Stairway to Heaven.
It
I didn't say it.
But okay, you didn't.
6 words, you said.
It did. What's the category?
Over the Hills and Far
yes,
Away.
Yes, it is. Very good. 5 for 5. Clean sweep and a 5-0 shutout win today.
I love
the
Overkill
category was
so much.
Over Under.
I love Overkill.
That is a great
it's
song.
It's such a great song.
Overkill, Down Under, Don't Dream It's Over, Under My Thumb, and Over the Hills and Far Away. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to get that one. You pulled it out, though.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
I love all those songs, I think. I love this song.
Oh, play it out, and we'll come back with more Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Got a question for you.
Sure.
And out there as well, if you want to answer it or you want to talk some Padres baseball, you can join us. 833-288-0973. We don't have anything scheduled specifically for the rest of this hour. But I did want to ask this question. And again, you can chime in on this or the Garrett Crochet trade rumors if you want to give us a call. Has the Padres brand been damaged the last couple of days?
No. You did this yesterday. We did this.
Not really. I mean, it actually bothers me.
Why?
When I see the constant headlines of Padres player banned for life.
No,
and it's everywhere.
We did this yesterday. I
mean, logically, no. Padres have done nothing wrong.
Literally nothing.
But this is completely out of their control. But I would imagine the rest of the country, when they look and just see the headline,
who cares?
And they go, "Oh, Padres player banned for life." What's going on there?
Two guys associated with the team both were placing bets when they weren't on the team.
Was the Dodgers brand not damaged by the Ippei Mizuhara?
Not even a little.
Scandal.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, I would argue that it at least somewhat has been.
Bro,
they have had tons of negative publicity.
But you're talking about people on Twitter. Like, that's just Twitter.
Brand awareness, it's kind of a nebulous thing, but it's a real thing that businesses, and baseball is a business.
I submit to you that
they want to have good, positive associations with their brand.
But I submit to you that the Urias, the Bauer, that stuff's more damaging to their brand, and it didn't damage their brand at all. Not even a little. I mean, Padre fans make fun of them, you know what I mean? But, like, that's it. And if they want to have a gotcha moment over Tucupita Marcano,
you don't think the Dodgers brand has been damaged by all these things?
Not even in the slightest. Do you not follow Bill Shaken, who tweets every day that they've just signed up with a Japanese candy bar for $700 billion? They just signed up with a Japanese.
I have seen those
every effing day. They've got money on top of money on top of money. No advertiser is running from the hills because of Ippei Mizuhara. And no advertiser should be running from the Padres because of Tucupita Marcano or Jay Groom. Now, again, I will tell you this. If 12 guys in the clubhouse, it comes out that our entire starting 9 and 3 of our starting pitchers were all doing an illegal ring, yes, we're screwed. We're dead. We have to take a week off the air just to let it cool over. Yes, that's damaging to the brand. 2 clowns that made $300 bets in one case, and another one a little bit more.
I'm not saying this
other teams.
I'm not saying this is a logical thing. That's not how it works.
I think when you read the story from the last couple of days, and actually read the story, not just the headlines.
Sure. No one reads the story.
You learn quickly that it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Of course.
You would have thought, bro, I was pretty out of pocket the last few days and would just, walk through a sports book, and then one of the TVs would have ESPN on or something. Like, every headline, you would have thought Tucupita Marcano was like the face of the Padres.
Yes, exactly.
Of course.
So I see what Ben's talking about.
Every headline, and it bothers me when I see it. It's every headline says, Padres player banned from baseball for life. Padres Tucupita, Padres infielder banned from baseball for life.
Though. He is.
And if you don't follow baseball that closely, that's not a great thing for the Padres.
But you don't care if you don't follow baseball closely, and let's be honest, there are people that follow baseball closely and still don't really get the nuances of the game. I don't think this does one single solitary thing. I think that PEDs, that's more damaging to your brand. I think that
Padres have had to deal with that.
They've had to deal with that 100%, and that's certainly.
I do think there's something like the Padres are not well thought of among the sport of baseball. I don't think AJ Preller is well liked.
That's pretty general.
I don't think that the sport likes the way that Peter Seidler spent money.
We know that. They said it. Owners said it.
I think that the Tatis thing is the steroid suspension is going to hang over the team and him for a long time.
But guys,
I think that's more of a personal thing.
But this is how it works, man. This is how it works in sports, and this is how it works on Twitter. And I don't think there has been one. If you're an advertiser with the San Diego Padres, did you even think for a second, oh, I can't be associated with the acts of Tucupita Marcano and Jay Groom? No, you didn't. Not for a heartbeat. Not in a second. I mean, it just does nothing for me. And again, when you know that those guys were doing this on other teams, I don't think it's hurt the Red Sox brand or the Pirates brand at all. I mean,
it probably should hurt their brand a little bit more than it did the Padres.
Again, we're talking about personal responsibility here, not team responsibility. All teams do their job as it pertains to gambling. All of them.
All I'm saying is the Pirates got off very lightly in terms of the PR of this compared to the Padres, who had nothing to do with it at all.
I don't know why this is such a sensitive topic for you, because it just doesn't move the needle at all. I really don't think. Yes,
I hope you're right. I do hope you're right.
Yeah, people are going to.
I've got to imagine
people are going to bust your balls about it. But that's how it works.
If you're in the Padres, front office, you're like in Eric Grupner's office, that you're worried about, like, is this something we need to do anything about? What's going on? Are people going to be, worried about, the headlines that are out there of, surrounding a guy who wasn't really even part of our team?
And listen, don't get me wrong.
Anybody could have signed Tucupita Marcano in the offseason.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't like seeing it either, and I thought it was BS. That being said, I don't think it affects.
Like, the headline should have been former Pirates player, not current Padres player.
Well, he is a current Padre.
I understand that, but all of this happened when he was on the Pirates.
Yeah, Tom makes the brilliant point of the day. You know how you fix the Padres brand if there is a problem? You win. That's it. That's what you do. If I'm Eric Grupner, I'm worried about, hey, this team needs to win more ball games so that I, as the CEO, can make sure the ballpark is filled and we got cool stuff to do and we can get players and make money. That's his job. But as far as the brand goes, it just did not affect me in the slightest, not even a little bit. One that got, and let's talk about some that may have affected teams' brands. The Tampa Bay Rays and Wander Franco, that I think did, because, again, you don't give money to anyone. They never pay a soul. They let everybody go. They're like, all right, we'll do it this one time. You gave it to a pederast. I mean, that's the guy you picked. That is damaging to their brand. Things like that, I think, are more damaging to a brand, but I don't think Shohei and Ippei have affected the Dodgers at all. Not even a little. I mean, they make so much money. They have so many
They
sponsors.
made the choice to hire
Ippei. Yeah.
I know he came from the Angels, and most of this happened while he was with the Angels, but they made the choice to hire him. That doesn't do anything. But that's fine. That's fine. Good.
The good thing
that means people are smarter than maybe I'm giving them credit for.
But the good thing
they understand that this isn't a Padres issue at all.
Now, listen, if there was evidence that they tried to cover up something or that they knew, yeah, I think that's damaging to the brand, certainly. But as long as...
And there's no sign of anything like that.
None whatsoever. And the fact that, Tucupita's going to be out of baseball forever, Groom's going to be out a year, that's just punishment handed down.
If I'm AJ Preller, I'm a little bit mad. Like, baseball, did you know that this was going on and didn't say anything? You just let me sign this guy without, giving me a heads up? And they'll probably go, well, we can't talk about investigations while they're ongoing.
I think you're smart enough to know, and I'm smart enough to know, and the listening audience is smart enough to know that there's really... I mean, the only thing that really hurts a team's brand ever is when they say, we're throwing in the towel. We're trading away our best players. We want to make money. We don't care about investing in the team. We're not going to upgrade our ballpark, or we're going to move. We're moving. That hurts the team's brand. I don't think an individual player, or two, even if they were with the Padres, I don't think it affects our brand one bit. I really don't.
All right. Hold that thought. If you want to join us, 833-288.
What is the Padres brand? I don't
That's
even
a good question, too. We can talk about that as well. 833-288-0973. More on the way with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Paulie asked an interesting question. He said, what is the Padres brand in our last segment? And I've seen some people in the chat going, I don't know if we have a brand. Someone says, I think the Padres brand is 500 baseball.
That's been for the last couple of years.
If you look at the history of the Padres, that's actually quite an improvement over what the brand used to be. What do you think is the answer to that question? What is the Padres brand? I mean, for me, the most notable and the thing that I think most fans think about when they think about the Padres is where they play. Petco Park, great ballpark experience. You always have generally a good time when you go to Petco Park. Other fans love coming to Petco Park and watching the team play. Certainly it's not a championship brand. No, they don't have any. You can't have a championship brand without winning some of those. I think it's a brand that has certainly improved immensely, or whatever it is, over the last few years of what it used to be. Much more relevant and significant than they were 10 years ago. And, credit ownership, credit even A.J. Preller for a lot of that. But what is the brand? That's an interesting question. And I'm not sure what exactly the answer is to that question.
It's it is a good question. It's a broad question, certainly, but it is a good question. And I don't know, man. I think when I think about the San Diego Padres and their brand, I think about potential. Honestly, like the hope, the potential that this team could be good, and then they go out and stumble against bad teams. And I think identity for a team is another thing entirely. Like, I don't think this team. I thought they were really well on their way to establishing their identity this year, and I feel like some of that might have been lost over the last couple of weeks. Don't know why, per se.
I don't know that a team's identity is necessarily the same as the brand.
It's not. But after a while, after a while, if you do it consistently for 3-4 years, like Fightin' Phils, the
Cardinals of the 80s had both an identity and a brand.
Of course.
That because of the players they had on the team that were there for a long time, and they ran and they played great defense, and sometimes that is your both identity and your brand. Sometimes the players just play for a team. The Yankees, what's their brand? It's the pinstripes.
Yep.
It's the history. It's the swagger of being a Yankee. Yes, they have good players. They have won lots of championships, but I would say their brand is it's the pinstripes. It's the mystique of being the Yankees.
They said last night on the broadcast that game was wrapping up. Who the hell were they playing? It was on. It was on, and I'm watching it. And they said at the end, this Yankee team this year has that attitude that those old Yankee teams that they said it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Like, we're going to the Twins. Who they just talk about a team beating up on a team that's lesser than they've done it for a decade now plus. They have the identity now. It doesn't matter who's in front of us. We're going to go through you. And that's what you want. That's what you need here. And you do that for a couple of years, Ben, then you have your identity, your brand. I think I was thinking about it the other day. They were interviewing Willie Adames yesterday, and the Brewers are playing really good baseball. You know what their brand is? We'll kick your ass. We'll fight you if we have to. We're going to play hard. We're going to slide hard. We're going to be aggressive, and we're going to kick your ass. And they have an identity. And that's kind of been the brand that they've had for the last couple of years. Now, they've fallen short as well. A lot of potential, a lot of really good arms, never really materialized. It's hard to do. But as far as a brand, we're still working on ours here.
Yeah,
I mean, we are.
And it can change. The Oakland A's went the other direction. They used to have a really good brand. The Oakland A's were a respected, well-run organization. And then they transitioned. Then they had the Billy Bean. The Moneyball was their brand. Moneyball was their brand. And you may have liked it or not liked it, but they had an identity. Now their brand is just sadness and no fans, and it's bad. It's really bad.
Maybe the gunslinger brand of the all-in mentality. We're going to go for it. We're going to make moves. The riverboat gambler.
That's AJ's brand. That's AJ's brand, but you can fire general managers.
You can, but for now, since he's been there, he's run the team.
But if AJ left, what remains as the Padres brand?
Don't know.
I definitely think it's the ballpark, it's the experience, and I think as fans we crave a brand that comes with the play on the field a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, everyone loves the ballpark experience, and it's not the worst thing to be known for we're just craving a little bit more. It's better than having a bad brand.
Of course.
I mean, the Mets spend a ton of money. Their brand is not good.
It's not.
Most people, they think of the Mets as kind of the joke. They're a joke. They're an afterthought. The second team in a town. The Angels have no brand at all.
No.
They're overshadowed by the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Now they're now overshadowed by the Padres, even to the south. They're completely brandless.
Yes.
Ohtani was their brand for a while.
And Mike Trout. Yep.
And now they have no brand at all. Doesn't mean you can't win games. They won the last 2 without a brand, but they don't even have one.
Yeah, I don't know. Janine says overpaid mid players. All right, that stings a little bit. Yeah, I mean, look, they need to figure out who they are. They really do. And big picture and this season, they need to figure out what kind of team they want to be. Just hasn't materialized yet. 500 is just, it sucks. It sucks. But again, right there in the fold, right there in the mix. Thank you to the other teams in the NL also trying to figure it out this year. And guys underperforming, a lot of injuries, are happening around baseball, guys going out. So, man, a war of attrition is what a 162-game season is, and we're firmly in it still. We're there, at 500, but they just can't seem to get anything going beyond that.
833-288-0973 if you want to join us. Let's check traffic. We'll continue on here to the top of the hour on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Tow truck is helping to clear a crash on Sapon 15 before V Rancho Parkway, getting that out of the left lanes. Also, reports of a possible brush fire eastbound King Freeway past Home Avenue. Some smoke visible in the area. Southbound side of the 805, right before 47th, there's a collision involving a couple cars there blocking the HOV lane. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline instant oil change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Do have somewhat good news for Padres fans going forward. I believe the next 4 days they will be facing right-handed starting pitchers.
Okay, good.
Starting tonight, and then the first 3, I think, against the Diamondbacks are all righties. And there's a guy that's a lefty that I haven't even heard of that's pitching on Sunday. But you are going to be facing some right-handed pitchers. It shouldn't make that much of a difference. Too Much Morton's did have the splits this morning, which I thought were interesting. So versus right-handed pitching, Padres have a 119 WRC plus. It's weighted runs created. 100 is average, so second best in all of Major League Baseball. 273, 335, 412 team / line. That's really, really, really good.
Yep.
They are outstanding offensively against right-handers. Against lefties, 93 WRC plus. That's the 8th worst in baseball. Bad, but not, I guess, as horrific as I thought. 227, 298, 343 / line. They're two completely different teams.
They are.
Against righties and lefties. You can't, generally you face more righties than lefties. But as teams see this, they're going to get wise to it. Just as you said, Ron Washington kind of did. All right, we got a lefty. Usually then you bring in a righty because, we're going to switch it around. Their lineup's set to face a lefty. Let's bring in a righty. No, let's just bring in another lefty against the San Diego Padres because I look at those numbers and more teams are going to say, hey, until you show us that you can start hitting against lefties, guess what they're going to get? A diet of lefties. If someone needs to make a spot start against the Padres, guess who they're going to pick? A lefty. That's what the Padres are going to see more and more of all season long as these numbers remain where they are.
And what happened when they put a righty in? Started scoring runs.
Yep.
Granted, it was Luis Garcia. So double win there. Could not get that big hit there that we needed, but we're able to scratch out a couple runs. But does you nothing, man. No moral victories at all. You've now lost the series to the Los Angeles Angels. Their first time winning back-to-back games at home all season long. A very that's a streak that you don't want to be a part
bad, but what you can't do is get swept.
Bro, the salvage game today is
it's pretty huge.
It's epic.
If you're Mike Schilt and your message is doesn't matter, we don't need to sweep series, we just need to win series, then you can't get swept. If they lose today, then they will have undone almost all of what they did well in winning 8 of 10 series.
You know the Padres brand is keep the faith. That's what it's kind of always been. Keep the faith, be Friar faithful. Now this year's for the faithful. I think people are, and again, I did not grow up here. I'm 14 years in. I've seen so much faith dwindle over the last 14 years, a lot. And I didn't cover the team for 8 of those years, Ben, but I have on a minute-by-minute basis since. And I've seen a lot of the faith dwindle.
I would say the opposite. There's never been more.
No. There's a lot of buzz.
Well, okay,
buzz. Buzz is different. The faith of, oh, God, is this ever going to work? Yeah, it's dwindled.
Well, it's easy. I think it's easier to have faith that things are going to be better when they're always at rock bottom, because there's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, and
now the Padres are good enough that you can see that there's ways to go down at this point.
Don't misinterpret the fact that, like, Petco Park is full and people are way into the team and more people are talking about it and everything else. That's a good thing inherently. But the faith, when things like what happened the last 3 days happen, that's when the faith dwindles a little bit. And that's happened over the years. Last year, I mean, holy cow, my faith last year went from as high as you could be to rock bottom. I mean, just as rock bottom as it got. I did not want that little win streak at the end of the year made me want to jam a pen in my eye. I was so mad about that win streak that inspired, we're going to go on a run when it doesn't matter. The faith that people have in the roster, how to build a roster, what we're going to do moving forward, that's dwindled. I don't think you could say differently. It really has.
And again, we're sitting here with 98 games remaining in the season. Padres still have the 5th best record in the National League. And there's still every possibility is ahead of them.
Yeah.
They could play decent baseball the rest of the year, cruise to the playoffs, have an opportunity in October. They can play like they have the last 2 days and eventually get passed by other teams, miss the playoffs again, and clean house at the end of the season and go in a different direction.
But I'll tell you what.
We haven't really learned anything yet this year.
I'll get hit with a baseball bat upside my head if I when I walk out to my car. If I got on the radio and I said, hey, just relax. Keep the faith. Keep the faith, guys. I want to feel it. That's what Peter Seidler would tell us to do. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. These guys are going to work. They're going to work.
Logic and history, though.
Logic
says
and history
60
says,
games in,
it says different.
It tells you who your team is.
It says different. It says different. But again, not to keep going back and forth on both sides of the fence, but 500 may be good enough to get a second wild card this year. So, listen.
We all said
is that a credit to the Padres or a discredit to the rest of the
season? But it's just it's a symptom of what's happening.
We all said at the beginning of the season, this is probably a team that is right around 500, maybe a couple of games above 500.
Here we are.
So I guess we've all been right.
You're a genius.
We are completely right about the San Diego Padres.
Yep.
That's why you listen to us.
Yes.
Our prognostication skills are second to none. We identified this team
as
often
wrong.
Team is probably around 82 to 85 wins, and nothing has really changed that.
Yep.
They're still around 82 to 85 win team at this point.
Yeah, I think they're at 81 now. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So logic would say that this team should not upset us as much as last year's team.
Right. But why? But it tends to.
They're not.
The last
I'm much better this year than I was last.
The last 2 days felt the most like last year, though, than any other days this season.
You know what the last 2 nights were? Boring. They were extremely, extremely boring. The boring Padres showed up, and I don't like the boring Padres. The San Diego Padres.
This hour 97.3 The Fan, brought to you by Prize Picks. Join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Paulie, Ryle Report headlines coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, did we? So I said it earlier in the show. I turned the TV off last night after the game to preserve my blood pressure, which was high yesterday at the doctor's office. Did Schilt say anything in the presser after that I didn't hear?
Not really. We have some audio. I listened to it. It was fairly benign, innocuous, frustrated. Yeah, frustrated to waste the last 3 good starts. Starting pitching, Angels played clean, really clean baseball the last couple of days. Tip your cap to the Angels.
Yeah.
They have. They have played good baseball, better than the Padres have the last couple of days.
Much.
They don't have any stars, but they certainly have not shot themselves in the foot.
Nope.
Once really in this series. Yeah. And give them some credit for that. I won't alibi that. I'll give them some credit for not shooting themselves in the foot. Padres should still be good enough to beat an Angels team that's not making mistakes, though.
Correct.
You can't just wait for other teams to make mistakes to win all your games. Correct. Please do. When the other team does, gladly capitalize and take advantage of it. Say thank you very much. Try not to do it yourself and give away wins. Padres have made more mistakes than the Angels have the last couple of days.
Yep. Some
key walks by the pitchers. Couple of base running, a throw yesterday that brought Donovan Solano off the bag. Padres have made more small but important errors and important misplays in this series compared to the Angels, who really have not done, as far as I can remember, really anything egregiously wrong in the last 2 days.
No.
Ron Washington's probably pretty happy with his team.
Great challenges from Wash, really, knock those out of the park. And
that was kind of a key moment. So Washington challenged that early play at first base, and watching on the TV broadcast, I agreed with Don and Mudd. I didn't think it was
enough to overturn.
I didn't think it was enough to overturn. Could he have been safe? Yeah. But it was really close. I couldn't quite tell where his foot hit the bag compared to the ball. He was called out on the field.
Ball's got to be in the cylinder of the glove.
Where it touches the leather. Okay. So I figured they're just going to say this call stands. Not confirmed, but I wasn't expecting overturned. And by the way, that was critical because in the Yuki Matsui inning, they also called the runner out at first base. He was definitely safe on replay, but had they not won that first replay challenge, they would not have had another chance to challenge. They would have had to accept that bad out call at first base, and it would have been a runner at first and one out, and possibly a very different inning, and without the rally that came. So it was, the little tiny things, the decisions do come back and make a difference later in the game sometimes.
Yep, indeed.
All right, we'll get back to the Padres and look ahead to the series finale, perhaps a little bit later. Right now, though, we've got Paul Ryle back. He's been in Las Vegas. He's probably overloaded with stories for the Ryle Report that he wants to talk about. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Ryle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Ryle Report with Paul Ryle.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Ryle Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
Welcome back, Paulie.
Thank you. We will get started here. It's the Ryle Report brought to you by the Frozen Ropes Summer Baseball League. Frozen Ropes is now registering ball players age 6 through 12. Go to San Diego FrozenRopes.com for more information. Let's see. Gentlemen, can I get basketball Ben Higgins to the podium, please?
Hello, I'm awake.
Got a report here that the Lakers might be closing in
fascinating
on J.J. Redick. What? As their next head coach. J.J. Redick, former solid NBA player. He's really been making headlines as an analyst for ESPN. He's been really, really good over the last couple of seasons now.
Smart dude.
Yes.
I feel real dumb when I watch him speak.
Right, but he does it in a way that makes you understand the game from his point of view.
He does, but he also comes off as a little bit A touch.
Like, I'll compare it to
touch
football.
Not arrogant, but a touch like, you really don't know that? You really don't get that. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, we talk about, like, Tony Gwynn all the time when he was coaching kids
of
and
course.
college players. Like,
just do it like this.
Just do it like this, you guys. Like, we're not you. We can't do that.
Right.
Tony Romo, I think, does that a lot on the broadcast. He's very smart, and he's got the knowledge, obviously, to commentate on the games, but...
Pompous, that's the word
It's
I
a
was
little
looking
pompous,
for. A little bit.
So J.J. Redick could be, and it's looking like that this will be the case, going to be the next head coach for the L.A. Lakers, Ben's L.A. Lakers.
How many? Give me their last 4 coaches.
The last 4 coaches before Darvin Ham. Frank Vogel. Luke
Walton. J.J. Redick.
Maybe. Let's see. I may be missing one in there at some point.
Odd choices a little bit, yes.
It sounds like it's coming down to either the outside the box choice of J.J. Redick or the safer choice of James Borrego, who is the former Charlotte Hornets head coach, was a USD assistant back in 2001 to 2003. J.J. Redick is, he hosted a podcast with LeBron James. It's the same age as LeBron James.
Oh, that's cool. I mean... So
cool.
now
It's cool, but is it also...
Now he's got his foot in the door?
Is it problematic? Yeah, are people just going to say, this is LeBron
pulling
the strings? LeBron has said, I have nothing to do with this. No one believes him, of course.
Don't you?
Is it bad that LeBron is pulling some strings? Maybe you want LeBron to be pulling some strings. To me, if you want me to sell you on J.J. Redick, who was the last analyst who became head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers?
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. Worked out really, really well. He was an outside-the-box choice, was doing the radio call with Chick Hearn, as we all saw if we watched Showtime. Winning Time.
Winning Time. Miss it so much.
And it worked out really well. That was an outside-the-box choice. I lean toward, what are you really expecting from the Lakers? Go with something a little different. Try J.J. Redick.
Okay.
See what happens.
Certainly
I'm all right with it.
Certainly a more exciting hire.
I'm not expecting them to win the title next year.
Okay.
Everyone's getting older. They don't have any draft picks for the most part. They got one. They got to keep this year's draft pick. Are they going to use it on Bronny? I don't think so, but who knows?
All right, we'll move on. This is kind of a basketball story, at least. A former basketball player. So, you see this with high school and college athletes. They'll play multi-sports, and then, when it's time to go pro, it's time to pick one. You rarely see somebody give up one professional sport and then, they might go hit the golf course recreationally with their friends or even play in some pro-ams. But rarely do you see a guy quit one sport and then excel in another sport. And that happened for a local guy, Chase Budinger from
La Costa
North
Canyon
County.
High School, yes.
So I think we talked about this several years ago. He retired from professional basketball and became a professional volleyball player. Well, he has punched his ticket to the Paris Summer Olympics as a beach volleyball player. And I just thought that was interesting. You see a guy that goes from the top of his craft in the NBA to a completely different sport. And he's not just playing it for fun or even on some low-level tours. He's now in the Olympics as a volleyball player.
Yeah, I remember at LCC, he was a phenomenal basketball player, obviously. Went on to, Arizona and then the NBA. But he was also an all-CIF volleyball player for the Mavericks as well, and he had to focus on basketball. But he could have easily gone into volleyball, but there wasn't a ton of money in volleyball, so he made the smart choice, go with basketball. Obviously, never lost the love of volleyball, and is still athletic and you could jump out of the gym in basketball. Now
the two sports do complement each other.
Serves him very well on a volleyball court, to get up there and spike away. Very athletic, and I'll be cheering big time for Chase Budinger at the Olympics in Paris in beach volleyball this summer.
Must be nice to
be that talented,
to be athletic, just that athletic. Like, I'm just going to try this, do this, not try this, but I'm also going to dominate this.
I think it's always like bar conversation, what would LeBron James look like in the NFL if he was a tight end or something? Multi-sport athletes, they're very few and far between at that high a level. And I just thought, good for him. Local guy.
Yeah, there you go.
And now he's going to be competing in the Summer Olympics. Finally, I got a wild story here. The headline just reads, let's dive into this here. So Elon Musk has this company called Starlink, and I think the goal there is to provide internet access and technology for the entire world.
Okay.
And we're starting to see how it's going to work because a remote tribe in Brazil was given access to the internet for the very first time. And they acted like 13-year-old boys, every single one.
So the first time they've ever seen internet, given devices and shown this is what you need to do to access whatever.
Technology.
Technology.
I mean, it's something that is so just natural to us.
Sure.
So it's a 2,000-person tribe, 2,000-member tribe in the Amazon rainforest, the Marubo tribe, living along a river, and they were connected to the internet late last year. They dropped 20 antennas in their
area,
their forest, and got them all connected onto the internet. And the tribe leaders have had to put time limitations on everybody.
Yeah, just like we do. Yes.
They've noticed that everybody's developed group chats, and the men have become very obsessed with pornography.
Who would have guessed? Who among us could have guessed that?
They're
Human nature, apparently.
They're hooked on social media. All they do is stream videos and watch dirty videos. They're like 13-year-old boys.
Like Mud Grant, just showing you clips of videos that they like. That's what they're doing now in the Amazon jungle.
That is insane. But not
who could have seen that coming?
Not that surprising at all. I'm so worried about that with my kids. We have all the parental.
They turn into you?
Yes. Well, they can when they're older. I'm worried about 9-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like,
you can turn into me, just not yet.
Yeah. When you're of age, I can't stand in your way. You're going to be an adult.
Tribe leaders said they had to immediately institute time limits because nothing would get done otherwise.
It's incredible.
Would society be better if social media was just not invented? Didn't exist?
100%. Unquestionably.
What if there were no cell? Would you go back to no cell phones at all?
I could not do that. Nope.
But no social media.
Yeah, social media would be the world would look so much better, and we would feel so much more together. The divisiveness that is social media.
It's also connected a lot of people that have been lonely and found, people that they would have never found before. What did we have?
Rent-a-friend for that. You could have gone and gotten that, and you're fine. You don't need social media. I just think, I mean, look, I'll just speak for myself. I'm full-on addicted to it. Full on. No question. When you see me with my phone in my hand, I'm scrolling Twitter or Instagram or something. Like, I'm full-on addict. Shocker. I think we probably are.
What would you be doing otherwise, though? Let's say,
in a perfect world, take it away. Well, I did it for a few months last year, and I played the guitar more, and I read more, and
Were you happier?
Yes.
You were happy.
Massively.
You weren't bored to tears most of the time.
I felt FOMO like crazy.
Yeah?
I mean, it was kind of around, like, trade deadline stuff was happening. You guys were telling me about it. I was like, I don't know. I didn't hear about it. I felt unprepared, like I couldn't do my job.
Yeah, that's part of it.
But I just don't have a good governor, on I'm just going to give myself 15 minutes and then I'm out. I mean, it's hard to even watch a baseball game because I'm just looking for people's insane comments the whole time as I'm watching the game. It's part of the experience of the game for me.
You are. I think you're afraid of missing something. I'm afraid of missing something.
Yeah.
You don't want to be foolish that you don't know something everybody else does, so you have to be on social media.
Deeper question here from Tim. Would we be better to be fans with no sports radio and no internet? Yes. Yes.
I wonder if the teams would sign up for that.
It's a great question.
Because I don't think you create the passion of Padres baseball.
I don't think so either.
Without us, sports radio, and the internet, and the communities of fans that are helped by technology. It helped grow. Technology helps grow. Padres Twitter is a great community of Padres fans.
Sure.
Yeah, they can be doomers, but it's a great community of fans. I would hate to take that away.
Yeah, I would too. But all of those doomers would be so much happier if they weren't on.
They wouldn't be doomers.
They wouldn't be doomers. You can be doomers. You should doomer in your home. Home dooming.
I mean, I remember growing up and following the Padres religiously, which usually involved going out when I got up at 6 a.m., getting the newspaper, if I hadn't heard the game, Jerry Coleman calling it on the radio, because I go to bed like 8:30 or 9, and the game was still on, looking at the box score and seeing how everybody did, and being like ready to like the dramatic opening of the paper to see if the Padres won in the morning.
Adam says there was sports radio in 1984. Was there? Was there sports radio in 1984?
Not in San Diego, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it came after that here. Maybe in New York there was.
Yeah.
The very early version of it. I think we got it in like the late 80s here. Interesting, Paul.
A philosophical question there. Would you guys be better off without us, is the question. The answer is unequivocally no. No chance. No chance.
Well, we're not going anywhere, so kind of a pointless question to begin with. I think we make everybody's lives better.
I don't. I had a guy screaming at me this morning. It happens, It's what it is.
I got one of these emails that trying to pitch me on something.
Another Ben pitch?
I couldn't disagree with this take more. I mean, this is an insane ice cream take.
Oh,
that
food talk.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm so tired of talking about the Padres.
Yeah, we can talk a little ice cream when we come back. Ben and Woods after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Paulie just reminded me we got to get to the Incorporator, which we haven't been played yet. And Jesse
Shocking.
did get his Incorporator word in yesterday. So we'll play that in just a second. We also have some Padres tickets to give away for tomorrow night's game against the Diamondbacks. So that is all coming up momentarily. But I did get to this email, and since I teased it, I want to get your guys' take on, what did I get this from? Let's see, journoresearch.org, who says that the most loved ice cream flavor, both in California and across the United States, is
vanilla.
No, and that's not a bad guess. And then the other obvious option
Chocolate.
would be chocolate, and that's not the answer either.
Are they going to say strawberry?
No, the correct answer is all three. They said Neapolitan
No, there's no way.
is the most popular ice cream flavor both in California and across the U.S., and I just call complete, utter BS on whatever this study is. Does anybody really like Neapolitan ice cream?
Yeah, they also drive creepy vans.
Just
if
pick
you
one of
like-
the three.
Yeah.
And if sometimes I feel like vanilla, sometimes I feel like chocolate, and sometimes I feel like strawberry. I don't want them all together.
It's actually hideous.
They don't
when you
go
have
well
it. They
together.
do not go well together. They don't.
They don't.
They start melting into each other.
The strawberry gets into the chocolate. I don't want that. I just want one or the other, or they're all fine.
Vanilla chocolate, great combo. Vanilla strawberry, good combo. Chocolate strawberry?
No.
I don't like chocolate covered fruit.
I
You know
don't
what
either.
I mean?
I don't either.
I don't like
I know some people do.
It's
but-
certainly not the most popular. There's no chance.
But I mean, this just can't possibly be the most popular ice cream flavor in the country and in California.
I've never seen anyone under the age of 79 or
Here's
get
what.
a tub of
Like the
Neapolitan.
premium, like the ice cream, the best ice cream shops, the Ben and Jerry's and stuff. Sure. They don't even make Neapolitan.
Of course they don't.
Because
'Cause
why
nobody
would
eats
they?
it.
Because no one likes it.
Who's this person? Let's get him on the phone tomorrow. I want to actually call and be like, you know what? I'm calling all of your research is BS.
See, the experts at this is so weird. The experts at Affordable Seating
At Neapolitan.com.
a restaurant furniture manufacturer and wholesaler, have analyzed Google search
Why?
data for
Why
over
did you do
100
that?
different ice cream flavors across the United States. Flavors include Neapolitan, vanilla, Superman, chocolate.
What is that?
Strawberry, praline, Rocky Road, watermelon,
pralines.
rum raisin, bacon,
Rum raisin.
and more.
God, kill me. Spumoni is really good. That's a different. Somebody said that in the chat. That's like a Neapolitan, but different. It's so
I hate
good.
Spumoni. I
What?
don't like Spumoni. It's got little bits in it, doesn't
Yeah, I
it?
wasn't a big
I'm
fan
not a
of
big
that.
fan of the bits.
Cherries and nuts and delicious.
Yeah, no thanks.
All right.
No, thank you.
No nut skin for you.
Nope,
You
not
don't wanna
for
get it
me.
caught in your throat again.
You
Like
can have all the nut skin you want.
potentially.
Spumoni is third in California.
Of course it is because it's delicious.
Neapolitan, vanilla, Spumoni,
What is
Rocky Road, and Ube,
What
which is
what
like,
is Superman?
I have no idea what Superman is.
Superman.
that's
Somebody is like people in the chat are like Superman's the best. What are you talking about?
I think AI just generated this email just to tick me off somehow.
All right, I'm going to look up Superman ice cream.
I've seen that before. It's colorful ice cream.
Oh,
It's
that
like,
kicks ass. It's like
It's like a sherbet, I thought.
Are you going to say that correctly, or are you going to say it incorrectly?
It's like it's like a
Is it-
sherbet.
That's correct.
Is it correct?
It's not sherbet.
It's sherbet. It should be sherbet.
Wait.
It's
What are you guys talking
The
about?
word is sherbet, isn't it?
No.
Yes.
Sherbet ice cream. SHERBET.
Yeah, it's sherbet.
Sherbet,
Sherbet?
not sherbet.
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 Justin Herbert. I got it. Yeah, it's sherbet. But you sound like an idiot when you say sherbet.
Can I have the orange sherbet?
Orange
There's no
sherbet.
second R
No.
in sherbet.
There's not.
It's not sherbet.
Now there's sorbet, but it's not called sorbet.
That's
Do you know what I mean? Like it's very hard. I've got a kid that's learning how to read, and it proves very difficult every single day. Did you think it was sherbet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sherbet. Unless there's some weird silent R that's not even
There's
in
no
there.
other
There's no
R in the
It's
word.
not even in there. It's not like it's spelled sherbet and you don't pronounce the R. It's just sherbet.
I mean, if you search sherbet,
It'll come up.
It says sherbet, often referred to as sherbet,
yes.
is a frozen dessert made from
by
water,
hillbillies,
sugar,
like me before,
a dairy
you.
product, and a flavoring.
Exactly.
I made
How is it not ice cream? I don't really know.
I turned our Vegas trip into a gelato tour.
Oh, I love gelato.
Gelato's
I love gelato.
nice.
Big fan.
I don't really know how to describe the
Gelato.
difference.
Gelato.
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 Yeah.
How do you describe gelato? Is it? It's not soft
so
serve.
they
It's not
remove
ice
more of
cream.
the air from the frozen dessert product to make it denser, and I think that can give a little more flavor and changes the mouthfeel a bit. All right, let's play the Incorporator. Jesse Agler, speaking of weird words, axismus was the word we gave to him. What was the definition? It was pretending not to care about something.
Correct.
When you really do care
It's like
about
feigning.
it a lot.
Hang on. Axismus. I'll give you the definition in case you missed it yesterday. A form of irony in which a person feigns indifference or pretends to refuse something he or she desires. Right? Do you want me to help? Do you want me to help you wash your car? Oh no, I would never ask you to help me do that, or something like that.
Axismus.
Axismus. Yeah,
All right.
It was a tough word and a tough definition.
It was for sure. All right, so how did Jesse land this one?
We go to I believe it was the 7th inning, top of the 7th inning. Jackson Merrill at the dish.
Here's a swing and a miss, 2-2, as Merrill went after the high fastball. A little bit frustrated there. I think he didn't like the previous call, and then he swung at a pitch that he didn't want to, knowing that it might have been called a strike. Sort of looking back at the home plate umpire, Ben May, in a Sismus way. Like, all right, that's how it's got to be,
That's
huh?
great usage.
Are you sure?
2-2 the pitch.
I think so.
It's a noun. He just did it as an adjective.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think in terms of like a batter looking like
An axismus
he doesn't
way?
care, but does
maybe.
care, maybe
And then he swung at a pitch that he didn't want to, knowing that it might have been called a strike. Sort of looking back at the home plate umpire, Ben May, in a Sismus way. Like, all right.
Maybe just a
That's
look
how it's
of
gotta be, huh?
Sismus on his face.
Yes. Yeah.
As
Maybe
he stared down the umpire.
It was a really tough word.
I don't care that you just called a strike on me, but I do. I really do care.
Yes. Yeah.
Tough one, though.
It
Very
was
tough
very
one.
tough.
I'm ruling that one a win for Jesse Agler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another win for Jesse Agler. All right. Speaking of the Padres, we have a pair of tickets to give away to tomorrow night's homestand opener against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Start dialing right now. 833-288-0973. Fifth caller going to get a pair. It is the bobblehead night for one Xander Bogaerts. First 40,000 fans going to get a Xander Bogaerts bobblehead. If you want the whole collection, well, and you got the first couple already. You want to get this one, too. So this is your chance to win. 833-288-0973. Give us a call. Win the tickets now, and we'll be right back. Final segment. Get you ready for Andy and Elston next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. All right, we have a winner of the Padres tickets.
Yes, Brandon.
Brandon, congratulations. Everybody else, thank you for calling. Better luck next time. No, I hate that expression. Better luck next time.
Yeah, it's like a backhanded.
It's positive, but it also seems very dismissive.
Yeah, it does.
But I just don't have Padres tickets for everybody calling in.
Better luck next time is really kind of jerkish if you think about it. Hey, better luck next time, pal. You know?
Because your luck was bad this time.
Sorry, better luck next time.
It wasn't bad necessarily. Someone has to have very good luck to get in just at the right moment to be the fifth caller.
I think
that's tough to do.
It's like if the Angels walked off the field last night and said, better luck next time. You wouldn't feel good about that if you were, Fernando Tatis Jr. or Mike Schilt. Ron Washington looks across and goes, better luck next time. That's not a wish of, I really wish you good luck. You're being a jerk when you say that.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I know it sounds that way.
Sounds jerkish. It's a great phrase.
It's genuinely.
Adam says it's a great phrase. It is. It's a really good better luck next time. But
I wish you better luck next time.
Right.
If I say it like that, does it sound more genuine?
Yeah, I wish you better luck next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
But
better.
if I just say better luck next time.
Better luck next time.
That
You've
doesn't-
never said that in your life and meant it meanly. Ever. I have. Time's a game, same time.
6:38.
Why?
It's a good question. Usually getaway day games or afternoon games. But I do think that baseball teams recognize that they can get more attendance at night games. And because the Padres don't have to go very far or get on a plane,
make them stay.
They're making them stay later in the day to play another night game, even though they don't have an off day tomorrow.
Right.
Normally, if you don't have an off day, they insist on a day game before travel. But I guess they've decided that the travel is short enough that we're just going to help the Angels with their attendance by making it a night game instead of a day game today.
Then back in the bus, down here for...
No, I'm sure it's good for a lot of Padres fans who have to work in the afternoon and would rather go home and watch a game at 6:38 tonight or listen to a game at 6:38 tonight here on 97.3 The Fan.
I was really looking forward to an afternoon game, but I guess that's not in the cards today.
All right, we will... this is... there's no
It's a must-win game. No, it is must-win.
This is a very much need to win game for the Padres. We'll talk about it after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Still seeing plenty of problem spots northbound side of the 805 before Telegraph Canyon. Stalled car in the center divide. Up ahead at Imperial, crash over to the right shoulder. Another stall reported on westbound 8 before the 125. That is in the center divide. You'll find on the North 5 coastline just before Delmar Heights Road. A stalled car in the center divide. And crash has been cleared over the right shoulder on southbound 15 via Rancho Parkway. I'm Kelly Dowd at Bentonwood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Brandon makes a good point in the chat. He says, well, would you rather drive down the 5 at 4 o'clock after the game or 10 o'clock after the game?
No doubt.
Going to definitely be less traffic.
No question.
At 10 o'clock tonight. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the San Diego County Fair. Share your memories from the 50s to the 90s for the Let's Go Retro Photo Contest at the San Diego County Fair. Your winning photo could win Best of Show and a VIP Fair Access package plus a $500 Visa gift card. Entry deadline is June 9th. Learn more at sdfair.com. Today's game, no excuses. I mean, the last 2 days, they were going against lefty pitching. Had a rookie starter last night.
That's not even an excuse.
That wasn't. It's not a great excuse, but you had at least something. Tonight, you're going against a righty who has had, by the way, pretty decent numbers in Jose Soriano. Is 2-5, but he has a 3.86 ERA, which isn't bad. You got Dylan Cease on the mound against that Angels lineup. If you get swept here, it is definitely consternation time.
Dire straits.
Even Mike Schilt's not going to be able to say much.
You can't
if you get swept here.
You just can't. Like you can't. No one is going to buy it. And you can love your guys. It doesn't mean you don't love your guys and have their back, but you gotta. You know what I want to see? I want to be a little bit inspired by the guys tonight. You know what I mean? That's what I want. The last 2 nights have been excruciating watches. Just not exciting baseball games by any stretch. So just a little bit more inspired baseball today from the fellas, certainly. And Dylan Cease needs to. We've said this before. He's been in this role. I feel like he's been the guy that we've needed to staunch the bleeding the last couple times out. I do feel like
stopper,
and it hasn't gone well. It hasn't gone poorly in one case, but it hasn't gone extremely well. So that is a lineup that he needs to absolutely handle today.
So we know that 5 times this season the Padres have won the first 2 games or 3 games of a 4-game series or 2 games of a 3-game series and failed to complete the sweep. How has it gone the other way? Well, the Padres lost the first 2 to the St. Louis Cardinals in April, but then did win
They won the salvage.
the 3rd game of the series. They lost the first 2 games to the Toronto Blue Jays and did win the 3rd game of that series on a Sunday. They lost the first 2 games to the Philadelphia Phillies, got swept in that series. Lost the first 2 games to the Colorado Rockies, got swept in that series, and lost the first 2 games to the New York Yankees and did salvage the final game of that series.
Yeah.
So they are 2 for 6 in getting swept and 4 for 6 in avoiding the sweep.
So if I was a betting man, and I am, I like the Padres today.
You should like the Padres
I like
today.
the Padres today. It says that it should be favoring the San Diego Padres today against the Angels, but they've also been favored the last 2 nights
Padres
as well.
are pretty heavy favorites.
Yeah, they are. They are. Minus 157.
And according to this, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is not a Don and Mud Padres TV game.
No?
It's FS1.
It's an FS1, nationally televised. That could also be why it's a night game then.
That's true.
For the
Who's on
FS1.
it? Who's on FS1?
I don't know who is the FS1 broadcast. Usually it's the same as some of the Fox guys. Can be like
Tonight.
Smoltz and
Wednesday.
Davis. Could be. But
Not listed.
that's a problem because I don't get FS1 in my office for some reason. That's a problem.
Padres did have a move
Guess
yesterday.
I'll just listen to Jesse.
Yeah, listen to Jesse right here on 97.3 The Fan, home of the Padres. Padres did make a move yesterday. You saw this. The Astros acquired minor league right-hander Nick Hernandez from the Padres for cash. And I tweeted yesterday, first step, acquire more cash. And they did that. So you need to wonder, what is A.J. Preller acquiring cash for? Spent a good portion of the morning talking about some potential moves that may be out there. They will need cash. You can always, this team is a little cash poor right now. But Nick Hernandez actually had pretty decent numbers down in AAA. And I don't know. I don't really know the reason behind it other than you're going for somebody a little bit bigger profile. Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah, I think you're overthinking a little bit.
You think so?
Well, I mean, unless Nick Hernandez is in your plans,
right? Which I don't think.
I don't think he was, and you can get something for him, even if it's cash. Go ahead and get him. If someone's calling, my guess is the Astros who originally employed him, looked and said,
good numbers.
God, look what he's doing right now. We'd love to get him back, and they called AJ and said, hey, AJ, what do you need right now? And AJ probably looked at their minor league system and goes,
stock my vending machine.
I don't really see anything, but we could always use some cash. We're trying to stay under the
I disagree.
Stay under the luxury tax, whatever, just give us some cash.
I wonder if A.J. Preller made the phone call and is now trying to get a little bit of a, I
don't even know if minor league deals apply when it comes to like the luxury tax number, though.
To pay a salary that you might incur?
I mean, I don't know. Is A.J. Preller getting on the phone with Eric Katsenda like Brad Pitt in Moneyball with Steve Schott, the owner,
I'll
and going,
pay for it.
well, then I'll pay for it. But when I sell them back, and I get to keep the profit the next year. I haven't got the sense that even with the payroll reductions that it's gotten to that level with Padres ownership where they're just saying no. I mean,
no, and it was cash. It was not international slot money.
No,
it was
just
cash. Straight up cash.
Yeah.
It's wild. Isn't that wild? You can be traded for cash. I'll trade you for cash right now.
Is that an insult for a player?
Yes, I think so. I think it would be. Sold for money? Prostitute. Your cards over there, Paulie got you.
No, I don't see Nick Hernandez on any of these or what the price tag would be. How much cash do you think you got? I mean, what's a reasonable number to sell a minor league player for?
What is a reasonable number to sell a human being for? I have no idea what the market yields.
$50,000? Is
Really?
that way too much? Is that not enough? I don't know.
feel like that's enough.
I mean, you don't own the player in perpetuity.
You own their rights.
You just own their baseball rights. So you're not selling the person. You're just selling baseball rights.
Well, it's semantics there. The way you're looking at it right now. I don't know. I think he's, adding to the fun.
No idea. I have no idea what like a reasonable amount is in a situation like this. Cash considerations.
Cash consideration? I have no idea.
Are they still considering it?
Okay, somebody just DM me. It's $10,000. Okay, and then they said it's not a baseball-related decision. I don't know what that means.
$10,000.
One of my sources. It's very vague.
Kevin Towers once traded a player for a weight machine. Padres didn't have the best equipment in their weight room and wanted to improve it, so he traded a minor leaguer, I believe, for like a Nautilus weight machine for the weight room.
Not the money to go buy.
No. That's just the machine.
Somebody loaded it from what team? Do you remember?
I don't remember which team. If anyone remembers in the chat.
Hopefully it would be like the Angels, somebody that's close by, and they can run it down the 5. But if it's
the
like
Red Sox,
the Red Sox, like,
Christ.
all right, we gotta lug this Nautilus across the thing.
Traded Sean. Oh no, wait, it's not a weight machine. Traded Sean Mulligan to the Cleveland Indians for a treadmill.
It's the most insulting thing I have ever heard in my life. If I'm, what's his name? Sean
Mulligan.
Oh.
Yeah. And a used Woodway treadmill. Used treadmill.
Oh my God.
And there was some cash in the deal, which they invested in
$37.
Weights.
Paulie,
weights for
can
the weight
you get
room.
him on the phone? Sean Mulligan?
Sean Mulligan got traded for a treadmill in 1997, it sounds like.
Has he recovered from that? Because that is a tough look. I didn't really get that you could do that.
Well, I mean, you got traded for stocking a vending machine as part of a deal.
That was like a throw-in. He said, I also want you to stock my vending machine.
This might have been somewhat of a throw-in. I mean, there was cash involved in
What
the
could
deal,
we
too.
get barter-wise for Ben? Barter. Like a car?
What do
You
we
think I
need
could
around here?
barter you for a
We need a new Keurig.
You need a new Keurig?
No, I'm saying we need one in the
one
office
for the
here.
station.
What the hell could we get for you?
Where are you sending me?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Whoever's got the best-
Who's ever got the best,
offer?
Ben has to move out to Lemon Grove. We trade him for a truck or something. Wonder what I could get for you.
But you're only trading my radio rights. So I assume you have to trade me to another radio station somewhere else.
I'm gonna need.
Brandon says new ping pong table.
We have a ping pong table.
We don't need one. That one works
Do not
just
need
fine.
one. All right. Well, listen. Go Padres, and let's have a better show tomorrow with talking about a victory.
A win, while essential, doesn't really change the conversation.
It really doesn't.
It just is. Yes, you did what the very minimum that you needed to do. Not get swept by the Angels is not going to be reason for a celebration on the show tomorrow. A loss is definitely reason for lots of anger and probably more hand wringing and some rationality too. I would think.
The good news is tomorrow we'll have an extra hour to talk about all of it on the Padres Roundtable. My first in many weeks.
You gonna stick around for that? Is that your plan?
Am I going to stick around for it? Is that enough?
You haven't done a roundtable in 3 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. And I was...
But we didn't have one 2 weeks ago, so you haven't done one in 3 weeks.
I haven't done one in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Why? I was ill. I do apologize.
I know.
You asked if I'm going to stick around for it. Is there an option not to?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. Well, 5 hours of Padres baseball tomorrow. I would really like a win to discuss. Not that it changes everything, but it would certainly brighten the mood. Excuse me.
It would not increase the despair.
Correct.
It's not going to brighten the mood. It's just
I'll be in
going
a
to.
better mood.
It's not going to increase the despair level.
I'll be in a better mood. I can sell that.
You know what?
I can sell a win.
A game above 500 feels a lot better than a game below 500.
I can sell a win tomorrow. I can sell it.
Please.
I can sell it. 100%.
The question is, how do you sell Dylan Cease losing to the Angels and getting swept?
Calling sick.
That's
how I do it.
That's a real tough sell.
That is a tough one. Love you
All
guys.
right.
Thanks
It's
for
good to
listening.
have Paulie back today. We will have a throwback Thursday tomorrow. Some real or fake, as we always do, and 5 hours on the airwaves, including a roundtable. Annie Nelston coming up next for Paul Ryle. For Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Wednesday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.